Welcome to Missouri Field for Saturday softball. Ben Korek with Henry Costco from the Falcon Media Sports Network for Bowling Green, taking on Ball State in the first of their doubleheader this Saturday, and 3 games hopefully this weekend if we can get them in around the weather that's going on in Bowling Green. Henry, a little bit sick this week, but you're back with the mic on. How do you feel, man?
Yeah, a little bit fortunate for the cancellation yesterday. Feeling a lot better for these today, and hopefully we can get both of these games in with some weather in the area right now. But hopefully we can get that third in as well tomorrow.
Yeah, hopefully. Certainly very tight up in the MAC as well for these two teams, tied for third in the MAC with Central Michigan as well. So 3-way tie for that third spot. But Ball State, seemingly a very talented team, Henry. A couple of very impact players, including 2 in the lineup, the pitcher and the catcher. The battery today is a big one to look for Ball State. They're a very tough competitor for this Bowling Green team, who's 6-1 in their last 7 games.
Yeah, I mean, Ball State, out of those 3, 4-2 teams, this is the team that is the one to beat out of the 3, 19-8 overall, and now 4-2 in MAC play. And those 2 players we'll talk about, we can start with Ella Whitney. I think Ben, 2nd in ERA in the MAC, at 4th in batting average against, 7th in strikeouts, and 5th in earned runs allowed, while hitting .326 with a .964 OPS from the batter's box. 28 hits on 86 at-bats for her. So, I mean, she did that at Florida International. She had a great year in her freshman year, made all-freshman team in the Conference USA, and then had a kind of a down sophomore year, so she transferred back up to home to Ball State, and it's really been all connecting for her.
Yeah, her and, as we mentioned before, the battery, the catcher as well, Michaela Timmons, a .492 average, the best hitter in the MAC right now, 1.1 slugging percentage as well, and an OPS that's over 1,700, an outstanding batter, batting
Pretty
in
amazing.
the second spot today. I mean, not much to say about either of those players besides they're the best 2 players that are going to play in this game. Bowling Green's going to have a tough task to get them out in the order and to try and solve Ella Whitney as well in the pitcher circle, who is just a phenomenal pitcher and a great hitter when hopefully Bowling Green can take care of her and get her out of the game. Looks like Bree Severino is going to be the alternate pitcher for Ball State, although I don't think we're going to see her today given how Ella Whitney has pitched this season and her fantastic stat line. Bowling Green's pitching circle as well, Henry, has been great as of the last 6-1 stretch. We've really seen Mackenzie Kravchik step up into the spotlight for BG. We've seen Morgan Beckham have some great outings as of the last couple, also taking a couple of wins. Scarlett Anderson really hasn't been used all that much, but it really seems to be developing a 1A, 1B, 1C for this Falcon team on who you're going to throw out each night, and it doesn't seem like there's a bad option.
Yeah, I mean, Beckham's really come into her own these past couple of weeks. She had a complete game, although it was only 5 innings in Game 2 against Youngstown State, and she threw a couple good innings in Game 1 as well. Her ERA was down. It was up over 10, kind of headed into MAC play, and she's lowered it now down to a 6.7, and then we mentioned, Anderson and Kravchik, all that they've done all year, and it's specifically been Kravchik who's kind of been handling a lot of the innings that this team has had this year, and she's been doing it well in these past couple games.
Yeah, 3.7 ERA, 6 wins to 3 losses in her 18 appearances, 50 innings pitched, and only 27 earned runs. A huge propensity for unearned runs the last couple of games. The defense hasn't been too clean. Some of that can be attributed to Cam Kaufman's absence from the lineup, as we've talked about a lot, moving the infield around. Some errors have plagued the Falcons. They did in the last game against Kent State and able to come away with a win, and they made those Youngstown State games tougher as well. Granted, Youngstown State out-errored you, but the defense is something to look out for today for Bowling Green to make sure you're not giving extra outs to a very good hitting Ball State team.
Yeah, Bowling Green, just one of the worst defensive teams in the MAC statistically, and you mentioned a lot of that has to do with a lot of players kind of moving around to some different positions. We've seen a couple different players, especially the last couple of weeks in the first base position, between Hutter last weekend and then Hannah Masaru stepped in towards the end of last weekend, and then in both games on Tuesday, and she's played pretty considerably well in her position, considering lack of experience in that position in college, although she did play it in high school. So they'll be looking to stay with her moving forward at that position and get some defensive consistency going here.
The biggest change we see in the lineup today, as we saw against Youngstown State, was Ava McKee making a start at catcher. Normally she had been playing as a designated hitter and has got the bat going as of the last couple games. She played pretty well at catcher as well. Didn't allow a stolen base to Youngstown State. Was very good defensively and caught pretty good games from Morgan Beckham and Mackenzie Kravchik. She's going to be the battery with Kravchik today. And just looking up and down the lineup, Henry, we had some struggling games from Katie Hutter, had some from Kendall Matthews and Hannah Massaro. Massaro's still struggling a little bit, but taking a little bit of a step forward. Katie Hutter and Kendall Matthews had very good series versus Youngstown State early in the week, and that kind of rounds out a lot of the order. There isn't a whole lot of players that are struggling at the plate for Bowling Green.
Yeah, Hutter and Matthews both had 2 hits each in the games yesterday. I mentioned Barron. Davis went 3 for 4 also in game 2. Hannah Hunt, all these players are really kind of finding their own, especially against these teams like Youngstown State, like Green Bay, these teams that struggle on the defensive side of the ball, on the pitching side, and they've been really taking advantage. And, I mean, the highlight of a well-rounded offense isn't, obviously this Ball State offense has these players at the top. They have Timmons, they have Whitney, but Bowling Green is so well-rounded that, they almost can compete with offenses like that this year.
Yeah, very good 1 through 9 for Bowling Green, a good pitcher starting as well, and 2 stars for Ball State as we head into this doubleheader today on softball on Saturday between Bowling Green and Ball State. We'll take a step back for National Anthem, bring you in a few minutes for first pitch. You're listening to BGSU Softball, WBGU 88.1 FM.
Don't miss the morning show on WBGU FM every weekday from 6 to 9 a.m. Join the morning show team weekday mornings to hear about local news, local weather reports, community programming, financial market reports, coaches show with coaches from BGSU and BGHS, and live newsmaker interviews. Listen live every weekday from 6 to 9 a.m. locally on 88.1 FM or streaming online at bgfalconmedia.com.
This is Falcon Media Sports Network Senior Chaz McNeil. One Day, which is BGSU's biggest annual fundraising event, is nearly here. Falcon Media Sports Network and BG Falcon Media rely on donations from One Day to continue to be the gold standard for student media coverage. In my 4 years here at BG, I have seen our technology consistently grow and evolve, which is due to donations and support from BGSU One Day. Any donation, even just $5, will go a long way in supporting and funding BG Falcon Media and Falcon Media Sports Network, with 100% of the donations supporting student media at BGSU, including funding for our equipment, travel, and any other day-to-day expenses in our year-round coverage of BGSU athletics. The official giving period is from 6 a.m. on April 2nd to 6 p.m. on April 3rd. However, the early giving period is open. To donate, go to bgsu.edu/oneday and select the Falcon Media Fund. Isaac!
This is Falcon Media Sports Network Production Director Tyler Kavlitz. One Day, which is BGSU's biggest annual fundraising event, is nearly here. Falcon Media Sports Network and BG Falcon Media rely on donations from One Day to continue to be the gold standard for student media coverage. This year, Falcon Media Sports Network has doubled and even tripled content numbers, producing nearly 1,500 pieces of individual and unique content, which includes over 900 written stories, 75 highlight videos, 50 features, and over 150 game broadcasts. We can only continue to do this with your donations and support. Any donations, even just $5, will go a long way in supporting and funding BG Falcon Media and Falcon Media Sports Network, with 100% of the donations supporting student media at BGSU, including fundraising for our equipment, travel, and any other day-to-day expenses in our year-round coverage of BGSU athletics. The official giving period is from 6 a.m. on April 2nd to 6 p.m. on April 3rd. However, the early giving period is open. To donate, go to bgsu.edu/oneday and select the Falcon Media Fund. Isaac!
Welcome back to Bowling Green, Ohio, where it's threatening a little bit of rain over here at Missouri Field. We'll see if we can get this game in. Don't know what the weather forecast is, Henry, but it looks like, according to Apple Weather, rain starting in the next 29 minutes. Hopefully not too much, and we get a little bit of a rain game going here between Bowling Green and Ball State.
Yeah, I mean, the problem yesterday was the lightning. You mentioned it was lightning 5 minutes or so before they were supposed to go out on the field. Then we don't really have any lightning or anything like that, so I think they can play through a little bit of rain and we should be good to go. Pretty
decent weather right now for Mackenzie Kraftsick, who's in the circle for Bowling Green. She'll pitch first against Maya Peterzak. Zach takes a first pitch ball outside from Kraftsick. Kraftsick, very good start against Youngstown State. Gave 4 innings for Morgan Beckham to close out with her perfect 3 innings to get the save. Kraftsick up to 6-3 on the season. First pitch strike first strike of the at-bat on the inside, 1-1.
Peterzak, sophomore out of Chicago, Illinois. She's had a great year, hitting 360 with an OPS just near 1,000, almost 90 at-bats. So she's been this leadoff hitter that's produced a lot of hits here.
Decent amount of power as well. 3 doubles, 4 home runs. Lifts this one out in the air to right field. Peyton Steffes is there, and she'll put it away for out number 1.
A little bit of a wrong misstep. Took a step forward when take a couple of steps back, but good readjustment and made the play well.
A lot of flyouts that we saw in the Youngstown State series, which is odd considering how the wind was blowing. Probably want to keep it out of the air as much as possible. See if that's the strategy today for Bowling Green. Ball State will bring up their best hitter, Michaela Timmons, batting second today, and catching for their pitcher, Ella Whitney, who's also batting fifth.
Good pitch for there from Kraft. She got the inside corner, but Timmons leading almost every offensive category in the MAC. First in batting average, first in OPS by almost 500 points, first in slugging, first in on base, most RBIs, second most home runs. So she really does it all.
The 0-1 to Timmons inside. Looked like attacking that inside edge for Mackenzie Kraftik.
The impressive part has been just her amount of walks on the year, 30 walks and 10 hit by pitches. So she only has 65 at-bats on the year, which makes it look like she just hasn't played a lot, but she's just been getting all walks.
High fly ball, trackable for Addie Martin at shortstop, and it won't even touch the grass. Pop fly for Michaela Timmons, 1-2. That'll bring up McKenna Mulholland.
Well, there's your pop fly narrative coming back. Play first two outs are pop flies.
Wonder how much that affects opposing teams coming into Meserve Field, knowing Bowling Green practices here, they play here, they know what the wind is like. Wonder how much that factors into the game plan for opposition.
Yeah, I mean, it's a home field advantage for sure. We've seen all the errors that visiting teams have had when they came here. Specifically, remember Kent State, Green Bay had some trouble.
First pitch inside for ball one. 1-0 to Mulholland, the second baseman. Holland broke a 6-game hit streak last week against Indiana State. Also, that 6-game hit streak went 9 for 19, 9 RBIs, 7 runs, 2 home runs, and a double. A hot stretch for her as she takes ball 2.
Yeah, 2-time second-team All-MAC member, made the All-Tournament team, and their kind of remarkable run there to the MAC Softball Championship last year as the 6th seed.
The 2-0 pitch. There's the first strike and evens the count back up at 2-1. Very underrated team, I'd say, in the MAC right now, Henry. Tied for third, but you look at the statistics. They're top in pitching. They're a top 5 team in hitting as well, and they're the best fielding team in the MAC statistically. I mean, kind of puzzling that they're tied for third.
Yeah, they're doing all of it. Ella Whitney has carried a lot of the weight on this team pitching. Being the majority innings pitcher for this team in the absence of Bradie Murphy, who was an All-MAC freshman team member. 3.9 ERA and 138 innings in 2024, so they're missing all that production, and Whitney's been the savior making up for it.
2-2 count now. Krasik back ahead of Mulholland. 2-2, 2 outs, no runners on, fouled off toward the Bowling Green bench. Battery today with McKee. McKee, her offensive side of the ball has really put her in the lineup over Ashley Chevalier. Coach Gardner said after the Youngstown State that it was more of a load management thing for Chevalier, but you can't deny how well McKee has been swinging the bat.
Yeah, credit to the freshman taking advantage of opportunities provided to her.
2-2 pitch, off speed outside.
But, I mean, we've talked about, I think Chevalier is maybe a bit of a better defensive catcher, but McKee's been providing that offensive pop. She had a couple hits against Youngstown State.
Ever since she had that game-tying double against Kent State, it seemed to have sparked her offense, and she's really taken a large step. The payoff pitch with 2. Oh, wow, that was yanked way foul by Mulholland.
Good pitch there by Kraftik. Tried to squeeze the hitter there and really got that one. Yeah. And got that to work. Honestly, good job turning around on it there by Mulholland. It's a tough pitch to get a bat on.
So you missed that off-speed wide 2 pitches ago. You've got a full count now with 2 outs. See if you go back to it. Kraftik delivers. It's fouled off a low and inside fastball.
Yeah, good at bat. Mulholland has Kraftik's number here. I think seeing 2 inside, might want to go back outside, maybe try a little off-speed, sneak it in there, or you could just go back to the high fastball.
The third payoff pitch from Kraftik hits Mulholland, and she'll take first base.
Oh, Mulholland crowding the plate a little bit, trying to force that. She's good at that. That'll be her 7th hit by pitch on the year, so she knows what she's doing in that category.
Kara Gunter up at the plate now. Kraftik was working the inside part of the plate that entire at-bat.
Yeah.
She did that against Timmons as well, trying to attack the inside.
Yeah, I think Mulholland saw that and kind of worked herself in towards the inner line there in the batter's box a little bit.
See what she does now against a different look, the lefty. First pitch on that same spot, but it's away from the lefty for strike 1. Maybe she just likes to live that part of the plate. That is where McKee's setting up as well. Mulholland 10 for 10 on stolen bases this season. swinging a foul ball. She did take a couple of hard steps off. But a 0-2 count now for Gunter at the plate.
Well, and the veteran redshirt junior up against this freshman catcher might be a little bit of a look. Maybe so look for a steal here, especially if the count gets full.
The 0-2 pitch, off speed away.
Runner in position would be valuable here for
Kara
Gunter, senior out of Pataskala, Ohio. Third team here in her collegiate career. Played for Eastern Kentucky her freshman year and then 2 years with Dayton.
1-2 count. And even if you get thrown out at second base, that brings up the 4, 5, and 6 hitter next inning. Not the worst thing in the world either. Ground ball up the middle, a single into center field. Rounding second and heading to third is Mulholland. It'll be a 2-base advance single for Kara Gunter. She'll sit on first, Mulholland on third, and bring up very good hitter. And the pitcher as well, Ella Whitney.
Gunter reaches the 25 hit mark. That one, good job by the Falcon defense. Get that one in quickly. Keep the runner at third. Remember, still 2 outs, so 1 out can get the job done. But yeah, dangerous hitter, Ella Whitney, in 326.
It's a very good piece of hitting by Gunter. Whitney, again, has to worry about 2 sides of the game today. Pitching in the circle for Ball State. Their best pitcher, also one of their top hitters. Third in batting average with 326. 2 outs, runners at the corners. Kravtsik deals the first pitch to Whitney, and it's inside. She loves that inside part of the plate early in this first inning.
Yeah, this is a unique look that Whitney kind of provides. We talk about Anderson, who has the ability to do that for Bowling Green. Scarlett Anderson, who plays some first base here and there, but Whitney is the true two-way player here. One of the best producers on offense and defense.
1-0 pitch, just inside. Key's a little bit questioning that call by the umpire, but 2-0 is the count. So a swinging away count for Ella Whitney, who's got a pretty solid amount of power as well. 4 home runs, 6 doubles, and a triple this season. One of the better power hitters on the team. Racing off speed high.
Kravtsik may be pitching around Whitney here, just with next hitter coming up, Kaylin Gibson, hitting 241 on the year, so that might be a little bit of a better look for her just in terms of trying to get the out.
Don't want to put runners on with 2 outs, but a dangerous hitter, and she's going to do it anyway. Load the bases with a 4-pitch walk to Ella Whitney.
Yeah, I mean, in that case, there's no harm done if you get this out, but if you don't get that out, then, that's when you maybe start to question that sort of play. As out comes Gardner.
Coach Gardner's going to go talk to Kravtsik. Probably talking more about a pitching approach here than trying to settle her down, although it was 4 straight balls and only one of them really close.
Yeah, I mean, this is a tough situation, especially in the top of the first. You don't want to let this, get away from you early, and you don't want to kind of stunt the confidence of Kravtsik, who's had some struggles here, potentially, especially when she gets runners on base. It seems like she has some trouble kind of nibbling around the zone a little bit and not getting the calls that she needs. So
she does tend to work her way out of it.
It seems like
a lot of the time she's very good at getting herself out of trouble.
Yeah, not a strikeout pitcher, more of a contact-oriented pitcher. So you need to kind of rely on that, ability to hit your spots.
You do have 2 outs, but the bases are loaded. Mulholland on third, Gunter on second, and Whitney at first. 3 straight unretired batters for Kravtsik after first 2 of the game being retired. First pitch just catches waist high, part of the zone for strike 1.
That's what I'm talking about there, where she hits those spots. Those pitches are kind of unhittable there when she hits the corners.
Gibson, as you said, not the greatest hitter in the order, batting behind a very good hitter, and Ella Whitney. The 0-1 pitch, off speed, just away from the outside corner of the right-handed batter.
First baseman Caitlin Gibson, senior 5'8", out of Peru, Illinois. Attended LaSalle Peru High School.
4-game hit streak for her from March 27th to now. 6-game run streak as well for Caitlin Gibson. The 1-1 pitch, swing and a miss. Not many swing and a misses coming from Kravtsik either. Yeah. But that off-speed seems to be the pitch that she gets those swing and a misses from, and it's kind of what you want in this count as well.
She doesn't quite have the velocity on the fastball, so you get a lot of foul balls, especially hitters that are a little bit early on him.
1-2. 2 outs, bases loaded. Fastball away.
Yank that one a little bit. Just trying to get the chase.
Trying to put too much speed on it, I think. That one had a little bit more heat on it, but way outside of the zone. 2-2, 2 outs. Bases loaded. Gibson at the plate playing first base today. Kraftic deals off speed, just away. What a pitch, though, by Mackenzie Kraftic.
Way to hang off of that one by Gibson. You could tell she wanted it down there in the box. This is a huge pitch right here, full count, bases loaded, 2 out. At bats like this early in the game can really have a huge impact on the outcome.
The payoff pitch from Kraftic. Swing and a miss. Struck her out to end the inning, leaving 3 runners stranded on base. A little bit of trouble for the Falcons, but Kraftic is able to work her way out of it. We'll head to the bottom of the first inning with no score yet here at Meserve Field. Bowling Green softball on WBGU 88.1 FM.
Let's Play 2 this Saturday, March 29th. BGSU softball hosts Ball State in a doubleheader. Join Falcon Media Sports Network's Ben Korak and Henry Costco on call, starting at 12:45 on WBGU 88.1 FM.
Looking for a BGSU Athletics talk radio show? Tune into the Zig Zone every Sunday at 4 p.m., where a panel of Falcon Media Sports Network members discuss the hottest BG sports topics. Only on WBGU 88.1 FM.
Back here at Meserve Field, no score through a half an inning of play. Ball State loaded the bases and then was held off by Mackenzie Kraftic, who got the first 2 outs, and then the last one on a big strikeout and a rare one for her. Now we flip it over to the offense of Bowling Green, and they're top of the lineup, leading off by a very hot hitter, Katie Hutter.
Yeah, 4 hits in the last 2 games against Hutter after kind of a tough weekend against Kent State. But the big thing about these BGSU offensive players is they've been bouncing back when they have tough weekends, and we've seen it with Hutter. We've seen it with Steffes across the year. A lot of these players that had struggled in 2024 have been, finding those good games. That's given them this momentum.
Coincidentally, or maybe not coincidentally, Katie Hutter struggled a little bit at the plate when she was playing first base. Now has been taken off of first base in favor of Hannah Massaro, and back to DH. She played very well at the DH position against Youngstown State, maybe benefiting from not having to worry about playing in the field. First pitch, ball outside, but added some heat on it from Ella Whitney, pitcher for Ball State.
I mean, you want your offensive players to be able to focus on hitting, and when some players just can't play in the field, and when you're not used to it and you're starting off the year as a DP, that can really have some impact on it. So getting her back towards that position has kind of had some positive outcome here, especially earlier in the week. 1-1,
second cut fastball of the at bat, a little bit tighter into the left-handed Katie Hutter. And this one hit her. She'll take first base on the second hit by pitch of the game.
Winnie a little bit wild to her early. Winnie didn't get a lot of innings last week. She had 2.2, 2 2/3 in her last outing, 4 earned runs on 6 hits. But before that, it was 6 straight winning decisions, including 2 against MAC opponents, 7 innings of 2 earned runs against Akron, and then 7 innings of 3 earned runs against Toledo.
And we'll keep harping on it. You add a very good amount of offense to that.
Oh, yeah.
And it's a battle between her and number 1 hitter in the MAC, Michaela Timmons, for who's the better player. Timmons catches first pitch on a swing for strike 1 to Addie Martin.
Yeah.
Martin had a little bit of a down series against Youngstown State, but still certainly respectable. Just down for her, considering coming off of a D1 softball national freshman of the week.
I mean, it says a lot about a player. She tries to lay a butt down there. It says a lot about them when, 2 hits over a doubleheader is kind of an off weekend for them. She still played solid, but after her pretty amazing 11-hit weekend against Kent State and Green Bay, it's kind of hard to, replicate that every week.
Riding an 8-game hit streak. During those 8 games, 15 for 28, 6 RBIs, 11 runs. Here's a swing and a miss on the outside. That'll set down Addie Martin, who gets struck out for the 3rd time in the last 3 games.
You see the velocity on Whitney. That one right on the outside corner kind of caught Martin stepping a little late there. That's going to be a big thing we're going to talk about is Whitney's velocity that she provides on that fastball, and if Bowling Green is going to be able to adjust to that over time.
Taylor Barrett, first pitch, nubbed over to first base. Trying for second is Gibson, the first baseman. They'll get the force out at second. Taylor Barrett will be safe at first. We'll just trade an out for Taylor Barrett instead of Katie Hutter and bring up Hannah Hunt. Not strong contact from the Falcons so far.
No, that one's 3-6. Fielder's choice. Ball State made that one look easy. Good play by Kaylin Gibson there to get that throw over to Peterzak at short.
Here's second baseman Hannah Hunt.
2 outs, runner on first base. Hannah Hunt steps up to the plate, swing and a miss on that fastball. It is a little bit of movement on that fastball, maybe a little bit of a cut fastball that fades away from a right-handed hitter, I should say.
Yeah, it's a pitch you don't see a lot of MAC pitchers have developed in their arsenal. This is a special look here.
This one nubbed over to first base again. Misfielded by Gibson at first. The throw over to second, but Barrett is safe. It's going to be an error on the first baseman, I believe. Hannah Hunt will stick on first base and bring up Peyton Steffes to try and knock in Barrett from second.
Two hits that were almost replicas of each other there between Hunt and Barrett, but first one was made by Gibson. Second one ended in an error.
Right fielder number 7, Peyton Steffes.
So this is where it becomes interesting, considering a left-handed bat with that, as we mentioned, that cut fastball that Whitney has. There was a first pitch, but leaves it down and away from Steffes. Steffes 1 for 8, RBI run and stolen base and a strikeout versus Youngstown State on Wednesday. Snapped a 7-game hit streak against against Kent State in the second game of last week's sweep of the Golden Flashes. Now here's a strike, a 1-1 count to Peyton Steffes with 2 outs.
Seen Steffes struggle a lot with these high-velocity pitchers. We saw it a lot in the early season tournaments against, some pitchers on Indiana, Wisconsin, Oklahoma, these Power 4 conference teams that would provide that stunning stuff. There's another strike.
1-1 just caught the outside corner of the plate, so Steffes will be down in the count to Whitney. Trying to work out of a little bit of trouble. One runner on a hit by pitch in the first batter. The other on an error. Prolonged this inning. 1-2 pitch, low and away.
Good idea there to leave that one. It looks like I think Whitney's a little bit more effective against right-handed hitters just because of the curve on that fastball. You see that she doesn't really get that going as much against lefties. It's not as effective.
Looks very enticing to a righty, as it doesn't necessarily to a lefty. That one enticing enough. It's strike 3 for Peyton Steffes, who goes down swinging, ends the inning for Bowling Green. Back-to-back half innings ended on strikeouts. We'll turn it over to the top of the second inning, and Ball State will come back up the bat with their bottom 3 batters. You're listening to BGSU Softball on WBGU 88.1 FM.
Hey everyone, Falcon Media Sports Director Lucas Kleinmeyer here. You're listening to WBGU 88.1 FM, home of the Falcon Media Sports Network.
On November 30th, 2024, BGSU women's basketball defeated Arkansas 79-78. The win over the SEC opponent was arguably the biggest of the Fred Shamil era in Bowling Green. Falcon Media Sports Network's Kaden Knapp had the call on WBGU 88.1 FM.
Tightly guarded by Velasco. 5 seconds on the clock. Passing out. There's a 3 from the far side wing. No good. It's no good. Laura Gerke gets the rebound, and the BGSU Falcons have defeated the Arkansas Razorbacks, coming back from 14 down to win 79-78. A huge team win.
This has been a Falcon Media Sports Network featured call.
Mandy Loth steps to the plate for Ball State in the top of the second inning. Her, Maddie Weaver, and Haley Urban, the bottom 3 batters in the lineup for Ball State. First pitch inside for Mackenzie Krafchick. She falls down 1-0 in the count. Certainly gettable batters for Ball State. We mentioned before the pregame, Henry, that a couple of real good hitters, a couple of stars on this Ball State team, but not as deep as the Falcons are 1 through 9.
Yeah, I mean, second inning, they always call it the rhythm inning because typically if you're having a tough first, you can get back into it in the second with the bottom of the lineup. You're starting with Mandy Louth, sophomore out of Avon, Indiana. Transferred from George Washington after last year. She made the A-10 all-rookie team there.
2-0 count. Kravtsik leaves one high. The 2-0 pitch is left inside, 3-0. Kravtsik struggling a little bit to get ahead in counts as her and Beckham have done so well over the last week against Green Bay, Kent State, now Youngstown State as well. The game for Kravtsik.
She keeps trying to go to that inside corner, and she's not really getting those calls, maybe just putting it a little too far towards the line. You know, it depends on the umpire always in terms of how, their zone's going to look, if they're going to give you those borderline inside calls. A lot of umpires kind of favor it nowadays, especially a little bit outside. So
now she's got a runner on first base. Not the worst in the world considering she is a contact pitcher. First pitch, strike on the inside. Still trying to go to that same spot that she missed 3 times in the last at-bat.
I mean, when that's on and when she can, pinpoint that corner consistently, she's pretty hard to beat. Just needs to find that rhythm.
Maddie Weaver only 2 for 11 in her last 4 games played. Fouls one way off down the left field baseline. 0-2. The count, so Kravtsik ahead. Big out here if she gets it. Brings up Haley Urban, the 9-hole, and then top for Maya Peterzak. 0-2 pitch from Kravtsik. Just low. Throw it down to second base from McKee. The tag. And they got her. What a tag from Addie Martin. And what a throw by Ava McKee.
I didn't think they had a chance there. That throw looked like it was going to be late, but Louth not a lot of speed on the base paths. And Martin, great tag after the throw was right on the money from McKee.
Absolutely fantastic throw from her knees as well. Didn't even get to stand up. And an even better tag by Martin on the receiving end.
Louth tried to go behind her completely on the slide, just reaching a handout to get back. I wonder if she maybe came off the base there at the end. So I couldn't see Martin was in the way of her.
She tried to slide around the right side of the bag.
Yeah.
I wonder if her hand got in time. Didn't have the best view of it, but 2-2 is the count now for Kravtsik with 1 out. Two-two pitch from Kravtsik. Lifted in the air to deep left field. Tracking back is Delaney Davis. It's going to fall on the warning track. Rounding first and going to second is Maddie Weaver. She's going to stand on second base with 1 out.
Yeah, that one flew over the head of Davis. Just didn't get great jump on it. Turned the wrong way initially and had to go back the other way, which didn't allow her to get to the ball in time there. That's a tough look for Kravtsik, not getting that second out here at the bottom of the order. That now brings Peterzak on deck now.
McKee's first caught stolen base of the season actually saves a run for Bowling Green, considering that hit would have most assuredly knocked in Louth. Now lifted in the air to deep left field again. Delaney Davis tracking back. Mirror. This one's over the fence. A home run for Haley Urban.
That one right over Davis's head there in left field. That one is the 4th homer of the year for Urban. Richard Jr. out of Columbia City, Indiana. And Kravtsik just needs to reset here. That's tough to have that happen here in the bottom of the order in the second.
1 out only coming from a caught on stolen base. She has not got any of the 3 batters out. A walk, a double, and a home run. Now the top of the order coming up with Morgan Beckham getting some work in the bullpen.
Yeah, I mean, Kravtsik, you can always use her in relief here in the second game, so you don't want to kind of tire her out too much. Give Beckham, who's had a good run here in the past week, a chance. I see that here in a couple innings if the struggle starts to continue.
Kravtsik, fresh count, first pitch strike, goes outside now, so abandons the inside of the plate on a right-handed hitter. Massaro a step in from first base, Barrett a step in from third base, off speed, left high.
Peterzak, 360 hitter, good contact out to right field on a pop fly. Her first at bat.
Kayla Timmons waits on deck. McKenna Mulholland in the hole. Ground ball to second base. Hannah Hunt flubs it a little bit, throws the first base to Massaro. Good stretch, and they got the runner for the second out of the inning.
Yeah, that would have been tough if she wasn't able to regain composure there, but good job staying with it. Just That's why it's important to knock it down in front of you first and then make the throw second.
Now 492, a batting average, steps up to the plate. 11 home runs for her as well, sporting a 2-0 lead over the Falcons in the top of the second inning. 2 outs, though, for Kraftik. First pitch, off speed, low.
Timmons just such a presence in the box, 6 foot tall. Got to be intimidating.
Almost bigger than the umpire. The 1-0 pitch from Kraftik. Swung out, drived in the air to deep center right field over the fence. Kayla Timmons, second home run in the inning for Ball State. Gives them a 3-0 lead.
Man, that one got out in a hurry. Looked like it was just going to bounce off the right field fence, but she really just went over. I would like to see the exit velo on that. That was a big line drive out of here.
I was in frozen rope over the fence in right center field.
12 on the air now for Timmons, who leads that category. It's tied for the lead.
Scarlett Anderson working in the pen as well, so probably hurry up time for Beckham.
Yeah, second in the MAC with 12 home runs now. First is Jenna Golembuski of Miami with 14.
Brings up Mulholland, who was hit by a pitch in her first plate appearance. Grounds this one to shortstop. Addie Martin picks it up, throws to Massaro at first. And that'll put away the inning. 2 home runs for Ball State and a 3-0 lead heading into the bottom of the second inning. You're listening to BGSU Softball on WBGU 88.1 FM.
This is Falcon Media Sports Network senior Reese Patricus. One Day, which is BGSU's biggest and annual fundraising event, is nearly here. Falcon Media Sports Network and BG Falcon Media rely on donations from One Day to continue to be the gold standard for student media coverage. Falcon Media Sports Network has helped me realize my dreams of working in sports through giving me opportunities to cover Division I sporting events and to grow and evolve my skills. I've seen donations reshape this organization and help it flourish into what it is now, allowing us to receive apparel to help promote the brand across campus and truly become the gold standard of media coverage. Any donations, even just $5, will go a long way in supporting and funding BG Falcon Media and Falcon Media Sports Network, with 100% of the donations supporting student media at BGSU, including funding for our equipment, travel, and any other day-to-day expenses in our year-round coverage of BGSU athletics. The official giving period is from 6 a.m. on April 2nd to 6 p.m. on April 3rd. However, the early giving period is open. To donate, go to bgsu.edu/oneday and select the Falcon Media Fund.
Whitney back out on the mound for Ball State. Timmons back behind the plate, and she just had the third run of the game in the form of a home run over the right center field fence. It got out in a hurry. She's showing why she's one of the better players in the MAC, if not the best hitter in the MAC.
Yeah, I mean, her and Whitney have a competition between, the entire conference of who's been the better player all year. And, I mean, Timmons just kind of unbelievable to watch a player like that, 6 foot tall and at the catcher position, too, hitting second, one of the best offensive players in the MAC. It seems like she's would really be more of a fit for the SEC as a player, one of those bigger conferences, but has, credit to her, she's one of the best players in Ball State history because she's stayed with the team all 4 years.
First pitch, strike to fellow catcher to Timmons, Ava McKee. McKee's first at-bat of the game. Softly grounded to the pitcher, and that one's misplayed by the pitcher, Whitney. She's going to get on base on an error. That's the second error of the game for a very true fielding team in Ball State.
Yeah, interesting there. Ball State, you mentioned probably the best fielding team in the MAC, but that one just kind of took a bounce that Whitney wasn't expecting, hopped right over her glove. So we won on nobody out.
PFP puts a runner on first base for Bowling Green. Delaney Davis steps up to the plate. 3 for 4 in her last game against Youngstown State on 3 bunts. In this situation, not the worst thing in the world. Will show it, does get it down. It's going to be a fair ball. The force out at second base to get Ava McKee. So you're just trading the runner at first from McKee and Davis.
Great play by Timmons to send that one over to shortstop there, Peter Zach. I mean, that's those defensive plays that this team makes look pretty easy. That's a tough play to go from first to second there on the bunt.
It's the ability to pick up your pitcher after she makes an error and trade it for an out anyway.
Yeah.
Hannah Massaro up for Bowling Green now, playing first base today. batting 8th in the lineup. Kendall Matthews waits on deck. Ball low and in to Massaro.
Massaro played a lot of left earlier in the year. Kind of has had that spot taken lately because of Davis's hot couple of weeks that she's had. So move over to first.
Broke her 4-game hitless streak against Youngstown State, 1 for 6 with an RBI, 2 runs, a walk, and a stolen base. Still decently productive, only 1 time on base. Second pitch is away for 2-0. Massaro, one of the only Falcons in the lineup that doesn't work tremendous counts all the time, has struck out a good amount this season. Just low, I suppose. Looked like a very good pitch.
I just missed. So in there, Massaro really likes to do that fake bunt, kind of, keep the infield guessing a little bit. She's done it every pitch, does it again here.
Infield not sold completely. Corner's playing pretty straight up. Wow, I don't know where that missed, but ball forward to Hannah Massaro. She'll take first base. Runner on first and second for Kendall Matthews, who steps up to the plate. And if anybody on the team can tie it with one swing, it's either Addie Martin or it's Kendall Matthews, in my opinion, Henry.
Yeah, Matthews transfer over from Lakeland College, hit .310 there, and has had a good week, had 4 hits against Youngstown State in 2 games, so riding a little bit of a hot streak right now.
First pitch from Whitney. Catches the outside corner for strike 1. Davis at second base is speedy. Can make it to home on a single. Massaro's not slow in her own right, but first base a taller order on just a 1-bag hit. Matthews takes the second strike. This one inside, 0-2.
Matthews only 2 home runs on the year, but her OPS tells the whole tale. Only a .224 average, but OPS up near 800 and almost 60 at-bats.
0-2 count, 1 out, runner on first and second in the bottom of the second inning. Ball State leads 3-0. Ella Whitney toes up the rubber and deals the 0-2 high. For ball 1, 1-2. The count now to Matthews.
Interesting that Whitney's having this control trouble late in the lineup. Massaro isn't really a player that you would kind of pitch around, so it's obvious she's really having control issues right now. Just not quite hitting her spots. They've been close.
1-2 from Whitney. Oh,
wow.
Got her on the inside. Kendall Matthews strikes out looking, bringing up the top of the order for Bowling Green with 2 outs, 2 runners on.
She might have heard me after that one. Hit her spot right on the inside corner there. Not much Matthews could do.
A lot of Falcons have been fooled when she's just putting it in the zone. So tic-tacking around the edges might not be the best course of attack for Whitney. She got 2 outs. Katie Hutter at the plate. Oh, head seeker, but high of Hutter for ball 1.
Hutter got hit in the head last weekend against Kent State. That would be tough to helmet hit by pitches in 2 weeks.
Yeah, it was hit by a pitch in her first at-bat as well. 1-0 count from Ella Whitney. Catches the outside corner.
This is where Whitney pitches her best. Doesn't have a lot of pressure on her with the 3-run lead, just trying to get herself in a rhythm.
1-1 pitch with 2 outs to Hutter. Swing and a miss. Low and away. Chasing out of the zone there is Hutter.
Hutter seemed also a little bit late on it. 2 left on base in the first, 2 on base right now, but still hitless are the Falcons today.
One and 2. Way outside. Essentially unchaseable for Katie Hutter. Counts back up to 2-2. Whitney broke a 6-appearance win streak versus Toledo from March 7th to March 21st. Her last 3 wins, 14 innings pitched, only 6 earned runs, 13 strikeouts, 7 walks. Gives up a decent amount of power with her power pitching. 4 doubles and 2 home runs. This one's fouled off by Hutter for 2-2.
Good at bat from Hutter. Good, very disciplined hitter, 17 walks. This year that's most on the team. Knows how to get deep in these counts.
One of the things they did so well against Youngstown State was work deep counts, but has not been able to find that success against Whitney so far. 2-2 pitch, just high of the waist. Very close pitch for Hutter to take on a 2-strike count.
doesn't really seem like she's getting a lot of those high calls. You know, it varies sometimes, you know, up near the chest where they want to call those sorts of pitches.
Full count, 2 outs, runner on first and second. Hutter takes strike 3. Back-to-back strikeouts looking for Ella Whitney to the Falcons. Retires them in the bottom of the second inning. Ball State will bat in the top of the third with a 3-0 lead over Bowling Green. You're listening to BGSU Softball, WBGU 88.1 FM.
On October 26, 2024, BGSU cornerback Jordan Oladokin snagged 2 interceptions, including a pick 6, in BG's 41-26 win over rival Toledo. Falcon Media Sports Network's Reese Patricus was on the call on Falcon Radio.
Minute 13 left to go. Ball picked off. Jordan Oladokin. He's got Green in front of him. Jordan Oladokin. 10, 5, touchdown Bowling Green. Ball game. 41-26, Bowling Green wins this year's edition of the Battle of I-75 up here in the Glass Bowl.
This has been a Falcon Media Sports Network featured call.
Mackenzie Krafchick back on the mound for Bowling Green. Gave up 3 runs in the second inning, and that's why Ball State leads 3-0 right now. She'll pitch to the meat of the Ball State lineup, Kara Gunter, Ella Whitney, and Caitlin Gibson. Gunter singled in the first inning, advanced to second. Whitney walked and was stranded at first base. First pitch to Gunter, lined out in the air to right field. Peyton Steffes tracking it down, and she'll catch a very good swing by Kara Gunter to give it a ride, but it's out number 1.
Yeah, second good play that Steffes has made out there. Good to see Falcons scoreless on the air side of things here early on. But this is a big inning for Krafchick getting through this order. 3 is kind of the threshold where it feels extremely manageable. You know, 3 in 1 inning isn't too bad, but once you get past that, it starts to get a little bit shaky as these innings start to wind down. So I'm going to keep this lead minimal here early on.
Off-speed fouled out of play by Whitney. 1 pitch, 1 out on Kara Gunter. Ella Whitney, broke a 8-game hit streak versus Toledo on March 21st. Actually broke her win streak and her hit streak in that game versus Toledo. 3 for 13, 3 RBIs, 2 runs, 2 strikeouts. Oh, this one a line drive back to Krafchick. Krafchick fires it over the first base. A little bit hard, but gets the out. What a piece by Whitney, and what a snare by Mackenzie Krafchick.
Yeah, nice reflexes there as she chest bumps with Martin as the celebration. That one's tough there, but good judgment. Sticking her glove out there to her left, just making the play.
Part of the detriment of being a contact pitcher like Krafchick is, she kind of gets peppered with the ball. A lot of pitches up the middle. A flub down the first base line and misplayed by Massaro. That one had some side spin on it, but Massaro couldn't handle. Be an error for her. And runner on with 2 outs for the Falcons. Mandy Loth steps up to the plate.
That one's tough play. The side spin definitely messed her up a little bit, but just came off her shoe.
I don't think she just mismanaged the ball. I think the side spin.
Yeah.
Because once it hit her mid, it spun a good, 5-6 feet out to her right?
Yeah.
Hannah Hunt picked the ball up at second base. So 2 outs, runner on first base. Krafchick, who's dealt pretty well in this inning, but 0-0. Mandy Loth walked in the second inning, got caught stealing a base by Ava McKee, her first caught stolen base of the season. That's now with a runner on first.
That's one of the tough parts about softball is you can be a good contact pitcher and you can, consistently get weak contact off of hitters, but sometimes it may not always be so rewarding.
Ball left high from Krafchick. It seems that way in all bat and ball sports, considering, strikeout pitchers may not have such consistent success, but there's games where they're just absolutely wheeling. You can't touch anything, whereas there's games that, like Mackenzie Krafchick has pitched well, and the ball's just somehow found some green. Pitch left inside, 2-1, counts back even.
Yeah, there's strengths and weaknesses to both, but there's no real right answer. Players just got to make it work the way that they can make it work.
I would always feel better with consistent soft contact than I would trying to get strikeouts all the time. 2-1. Now another caught stolen base, or Leather tries stolen base, and another caught stolen base for Ava McKee to end the inning. That's 2 today after going 0 for 6 the rest of the season. Mandy Loth will come back up in the top of the 4th inning, and retired Caitlin Gibson trying for second base. What a throw by McKee.
That was nice. McKee, 2 back-to-back here, really good throws to second. Freshman looking confident there behind the plate. That's a speedy run in there, and Gibson.
She's earning her way to be the starting catcher. We'll stick our way through this half-inning break and talk about the uniforms for both of these sides. We'll choose a winner as well. Henry, do you want to describe uniforms that we're seeing today?
We got a brown versus white on the road matchup. Bowling Green wearing those brown jerseys with the orange trim, white pants, and then Ball State in their home white pinstripes with the red numbers and the kind of cursive lettering over the front. The Red Sox as well. Yeah, I'm not sure. I mean, I'm used to seeing the Bowling Green brown, but those are some pretty nice uniforms in my opinion. Ball States are pretty nice as well.
States are very clean. I am a sucker for pinstripes. I'll be honest.
Sure.
I love pinstripes. And it's really tough to make a pinstripe uniform look bad, especially when it's red and white. Cardinals have pinstripes. Reds have pinstripes in the MLB. Just a very clean look.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I feel like they might look a little bit better on these if they were black and maybe have a little bit more black accents on these uniforms, but I mean, they still look good regardless.
I think I'm going to choose the winner as Ball State today.
Yeah, I would
especially
say so.
Because it's a home game for Bowling Green, and if you looked at this objectively without the coloration around the field, you would assume Bowling Green was away.
Yeah.
Colored jerseys and white pants. That's a pet peeve of mine. I'll be honest. I like the all white at home and color on the road.
Yeah, I'm not sure really what the process is behind that. I'm sure at the end of the day it really doesn't matter that much. It's just more of a old guy
gives us something to talk about between the top and the bottom of the 3rd inning. Addie Martin swinging a miss on the first pitch from Whitney.
Martin struck out first at bat against Whitney, looking to get some redemption here. Got some nice pitches on the corner from Whitney in that at bat.
And 22 strikeouts, second on the team, only behind Hannah Massaro.
Trade off of all the power. Swinging a miss there. One of those true outcome hitters where they, the walks, strikeouts, home runs, their main sources of productivity.
I do like to see her attacking, though. I feel like Bowling Green has lacked that a lot in this game, trying to attack Whitney. They've really let Ella Whitney dictate how their offense is run.
Martin down 0-2 again. Gardner's kind of giving her a talking to a little bit. Maybe try to dial back that offensive style, especially since she's had, I believe it's just 5 straight swing and misses here in these 2 at-bats.
4 strikeouts, only 2 walks for Whitney so far. She's got 0-2 on Addie Martin, who, like you said, has already struck out in this game and is a strikeout threat. She's trying to hold on to her hit streak as well. They get the Falcons on the board. They trail 3-0 in the bottom of the 3rd inning. Martin, Barrett on deck. Hannah Hunt in the hole. So Whitney toes up the rubber again. Here's the 0-2 pitch to Martin. Strike 3 looking.
Great pitch from Whitney. Caught the outside corner. That's just those pitches that you just can't leave out there. You got to at least try to put some attempt on him. It's a fine line there, but can't rely on the umpire to give you the benefit of the doubt.
Taylor Barrett steps into the box. I like her odds against Ella Whitney, considering contact batters seem to be the kryptonite of power pitchers.
Yeah, players that have the bigger swings have trouble catching up to the velocity, so players that can really, use their kind of smaller frames and just put bat on ball do better generally.
On base percentage, the highest of the team, a top 5 in batting average as well. Taylor Barrett. 1-0, now a ground ball to third base, easily handled by Loth. Thrown over to first to Gibson. It's a 5-3 putout. Hannah Hunt will step up now, reaching on an error in the first inning. Looking to try to avoid a 1-2-3. Making Whitney work a little bit harder for her outs.
Here's second baseman number 2, Hannah Hunt.
Hunt hitting .368 on the year. Reached on an error last at bat.
2 outs, ground ball up the middle to the shortstop. Peterzak throws over to first. Back-to-back ground balls. And a 1-2-3 inning for Ella Whitney. Back into the top of the 4th with the game cruising, and Ball State with a 3-0 lead over the Falcons. BGSU softball on WBGU 88.1 FM.
The morning show on WBGU FM is brought to you by the Bowling Green Chamber of Commerce. For more information, contact The Morning Show at themorningshow@bgchamber.net. Send them any programming suggestions or information you might have. They are always looking for show ideas and guests. To have your birthday or anniversary announced, email or call the Bowling Green Chamber of Commerce at 419-353-7945. The Morning Show on WBGU. Be part of the WBGU team. Volunteer with WBGU FM in a variety of roles, including on-air, promotions, social media, music selection, and much more. Positions are always available to students and the local community. For more information, visit the WBGU Facebook page. Volunteer with Northwest Ohio's community radio station, WBGU 88.1 FM. The return to radio freedom.
Top of the 4th inning and 3 frames full of play. Ball State with a 3-0 lead on all 3 runs coming in the 2nd inning. 3 runs on 3 hits, a walk. No runners left on base. 2 home runs, one by Haley Urban, who will bat in this inning, 3rd, and one by Michaela Timmons.
That'll be Weaver, Urban, Peterzak coming up here bottom to the top. One's low for Krafchick. Krafchick really trying to settle in here. Needs these innings to go by a little bit quicker for her.
Andy Loth actually stepped into the box in the last inning. McCaitlin Gibson was thrown out trying to steal second base. So
Right.
Loth will step back up and try again. Loth was also actually thrown out trying for second base. Soft ground ball to third base. Taylor Barrett with a running throw over to first. Good play by Taylor Barrett to punch out the first at bat.
Yeah, good play making those defensive plays at third look easy. Those were kind of a trouble point in the Kent State series, those corner-to-corner plays. Good sign that they're making those look easy.
14, Maddie Weaver.
Weaver at the plate now. 5'10" senior out of Indianapolis. First pitch to her. Off speed, just caught the outside corner. Didn't look like a strike to me, but it did to the umpire. 0-1.
This is where Krafchick kind of caught some trouble here in the second. Weaver doubled, leading to a 2-run shot by Urban.
This one doesn't have the distance. Pop fly to first base. Hannah Massaro takes it away. That's the outfielder skills coming in handy. Haley Urban will step up now, who was the one that hit the home run in the 2nd inning to give Ball State a 2-0 lead. And how about this? How about the confidence that Gardner has in Krafchick, leaving her in the game as well? I think we were half expecting after the second to see Morgan Beckham, who's still getting a little bit of work in the pen, but Krafchick settled in a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, it's based on kind of this, higher-powered lineup. I think we'll probably see Scarlett here at least coming up in these next 2 games, pitching the freshman. You like to give her these innings against some of these Horizon League teams, but, and she has proved herself in those games, and she proved herself against Kent State, so it's fun to give her the opportunity here.
Off speed, just outside, barely. Hannah Hunt actually at second base, not too happy about it, but 2-0 count to the bottom of the order. Don't want to turn it back around, because even if you put a runner on and get it out, that means Michaela Timmons is leading off the 5th inning. Want to not give Ball State as many outs as you can. Fouled out of play. First strike, back up to even 2-1.
Kenzie nearly reached her total inning total from last year, 58 last year, and she'll reach the mark probably in a couple of games. Reach 53 right now.
2-1 deal from Krafchick. Flown out in the air to center field. Kendall Matthews tracking. She'll make a nice running catch. 1-2-3 in the top of the 4th inning for Bowling Green. A very clutch one as well for Mackenzie Krafchick, who's trying to remain in the game. We head to the bottom of the 4th inning with a 3-0 Ball State lead. we'll actually stick our way through this, Henry, and talk a little bit about what's going on in BGSU athletics, because baseball has got back in the win column. Central Michigan took 2 wins over them in a doubleheader yesterday, and some pretty good play by the Falcons, as they're actually, softball and baseball, the only revenue sports going on right now.
Yeah, we reached that spring mark where basketball's over, at least for Bowling Green. Hockey concluded as well, so we're fully relying on these baseball and softball teams for our entertainment here in the spring. Baseball, tough weekend against Kent State, team that Halleck always seems to have trouble with. 20-4 loss on Saturday, and then 9-7 loss on Sunday, but bounce back here with 3 straight. Big win against Youngstown State on Tuesday, and then back-to-back wins on Friday, 7-5 and 4-3 scores of those.
Nice to see them get some pretty decisive wins. Not too big in the number of runs scored in the win, but nice to see them actually leading a game going into the last couple of innings, considering there was that stretch there where they were having to come all the way back, and did a very good job.
Yeah.
Not the only entertainment coming up in BGSU athletics. The Ziggy's Awards show coming up in about a month, I believe. The Falcon Media Sports Network will have a lot of that coverage, so go to bgfalconmedia.com /the Ziggy's to check out the timeline and all of our social posts promoting the event. As well as go to bgfalconmedia.com for our recaps and
On November 16th, 2024, BGSU Volleyball defeated Ohio in 5 sets, clinching their 7th regular season championship under head coach Daniela Tomic. Falcon Media Sports Network's Chaz McNeil had the call on WBGU 88.1 FM.
Picked up on the attack, Archinska off the block, saved by LaPinta. Over is on the attack is Hovey. The Falcons have done it. Bowling Green will host the MAC Tournament. Regular season championship returns to the orange and brown.
This has been a Falcon Media Sports Network featured call.
This is Falcon Media Sports Network Baseball Beat, Chaz McNeil. One Day, which is BGSU's biggest annual fundraising event, is nearly here. Falcon Media Sports Network and BG Falcon Media rely on donations from One Day to continue to be the gold standard for student media coverage. With donations and support from BGSU One Day, we are able to broadcast every home game and create video features to tell the stories of the players. Any donations, even just $5, will go a long way in supporting and funding BG Falcon Media and Falcon Media Sports Network, with 100% of the donations supporting student media at BGSU, including funding for our equipment, travel, and any other day-to-day expenses in our year-round coverage of BGSU athletics. The official giving period is from 6 a.m. on April 2nd to 6 p.m. on April 3rd. However, the early giving period is open. To donate, go to bgsu.edu/oneday and select the Falcon Media Fund. Isaac!
My name is Anthony Hernandez. I'm on the BG men's soccer team. My 4 dream opponents, I would say, is Messi. I've been watching him since I've grown up, and I've enjoyed watching him play. The other one would be Sergio Busquets. He makes the game very easy. And my third one, I would say De Bruyne. I love his passes. He makes it look so easy with the through balls. And my last one, I would probably say Mbappe. I mean, he's just so fast and not easy to catch.
This is Falcon Media Sports Network's men's soccer beat, Lucas Kleinmeyer. One Day, which is BGSU's biggest annual fundraising event, is nearly here. Falcon Media Sports Network and BG Falcon Media rely on donations from One Day to continue to be the gold standard for student media coverage. This past season, I had the privilege to cover every single game for men's soccer, from broadcasting, writing, to on-camera reporting. But with your help, we can continue elevating our coverage for the program. Any donations, even just $5, will go a long way in supporting and funding BG Falcon Media and Falcon Media Sports Network, with 100% of of your donations supporting student media at BGSU, including funding for our equipment, travel, and any other day-to-day expenses in our year-round coverage of BGSU Athletic. The official giving period is from 6 a.m. on April 2nd to 6 p.m. on April 3rd. However, the early giving period is open. To donate, go to bgsu.edu/oneday and select the Falcon Media Fund. Isaac!
This is Falcon Media Sports Network softball beat, Ben Korak. One Day, which is BGSU's biggest annual fundraising event, is nearly here. Falcon Media Sports Network and BG Falcon Media rely on donations from One Day to continue to be the gold standard for student media coverage. BGSU softball does not have strong regional coverage, no ESPN Plus broadcasts, and very rare coverage from local media outlets. At the Falcon Media Sports Network, we would like to expand our broadcasts from simply home to the road as well, and can only do so through donors. Any donations, even just $5, will go a long way in supporting and funding BG Falcon Media and the Falcon Media Sports Network, with 100% of donations supporting student media at BGSU, including funding our equipment, travel, and other day-to-day expenses in our year-round coverage of BGSU athletics. The official giving period is from 6 a.m. on April 2nd to 6 p.m. on April 3rd. However, the early giving period is now open. To donate, go to bgsu.edu/oneday and select the Falcon Media Fund. Isaac.
Hey, it's Reese Petrikis, and you're listening to WBGU 88.1 FM, home of the Falcon Media Sports Network.
Hi, my name's Emma Stransky. I'm a winger for BGSU women's soccer. My 4 favorite animals are ferret, because I have 2 and they're the cutest things ever. Falcon, because we're BG. Fox, because Chris Fox, our coach. And then a flamingo, because I think that they're pretty.
Looking for a BGSU Athletics talk radio show? Tune into the Zig Zone every Sunday at 4 p.m., where a panel of Falcon Media Sports Network members discuss the hottest BG sports topics. Only on WBGU 88.1 FM.
Hi, I'm Brock Horn. I'm a middle linebacker, 6-year senior, and these are my Falcon 4 people I go to after a game. So first, definitely would be my girlfriend, would be the first person I'd text. The second would be my parents, if they weren't at the game, which they probably were. Third would be my group chat with like my buddies from BG that have come and gone, so like Darren Andrews, Brent Spees, James Miller, all guys who played here. And then my fourth would be my group chat with all the boys back home. So go Falcons.
Back here at Missouri Field, still a 3-0 game. The bottom of the 4th inning for Bowling Green resulted in a 1-2-3. Peyton Steffes got on base early, grounded a double play by Ava McKee. Delaney Davis grounded back to the pitcher, and we turn it over to the top of the order at Bowling Green, or to Ball State in the top of the 5th inning. Peter, Zach, Timmons, and Mulholland.
I didn't miss too much there in that 4th inning frame. Great double play there. McKee's ground ball is short. Ball State really flexing their defensive muscles on that play. Backing up their stellar MAC Pitcher of the Year contender for sure, Ella Whitney. Kravchuk will to defend her team's 3-run deficit here. She hasn't had a bad outing overall. She's really settled in here in the past couple innings. Just been a matter of Whitney just being a little bit better.
Peter Zach 0 for 2. Ground ball to the second baseman and a fly out to the right fielder. Shows bunt, drops it behind the fair line, so it's foul ball and 0-1 count for Kravchuk, who a couple of innings ago we might have assumed that we'd be seeing a different arm for Bowling Green, but Kravchuk's worked her way out of 2 other innings, actually 3 batters in the last 2 innings.
That's what Kravchuk has really been able to do all year. She's had, some blow-up innings, but she's able to just regain composure and keep chugging along after only, 2 earned runs, 3 earned runs in an inning isn't end of the world, and they've been keeping themselves in the game, which is the big part.
Worked her way out of trouble in the first inning. 3 runners on, the bases loaded with 2 outs, and she got a strikeout. The second inning was that big one, gave up 3 runs on 2 home runs. Then the third and the fourth, nothing. It's a 1-1 count to Peter Zach. It's away for 2-1. Keeping runners off of the base paths is a big theme for Kraftsick the last week, probably going to be the rest of the year too. No pitcher does well with runners on bases. This one's yanked down the left field line, but just foul.
Great
into the
contact
bullpen.
by Peter Zach. That one's dangerous when it goes down that line. Davis was right on it, though.
Really got around on that inside fastball.
Yeah.
But it's a long second strike for a 2-2. See what she does here. Maybe try and avoid that inside part of the plate, considering she turned on it quite easily a second ago. 2-2 from Kraftsick. Outfield straight up, and the batter calls time.
Peter Zach really been a good compliment to Michaela Timmons' success all year. 13 RBIs, 4 home runs, 32 hits. Chicago, Illinois native.
Off speed high. Full count now. She needs something good to get the opening out. 3 out of her other 4 innings pitched. She got the first batter out. The only inning she didn't was the one where she gave up 3 runs. Full count, up and away. Mr. Spot and lost Peter Zach. Bringing up Timmons with a runner on.
It's tough at bat, tough here to just generally get out is Peter Zach. You got to really hit your spots.
Yeah.
That one just missed a little bit on the outside.
Especially with somebody that's already hit a home run lurking on deck. Michaela Timmons 1 for 2 with a home run.
A dangerous presence up here.
Yeah. Lucky it was only a solo shot. This one fouled out of play on a check swing and still.
Wow. Yeah. Even the
was
check
crushed.
swing. check swing that wasn't even a half swing.
Yeah.
Just barely got the batter on. That one soared well over the dugout and well into the trees over there in right field.
0-1 pitch from Kraftsick. Off speed inside. For ball 1. Scarlett Anderson still in the bullpen for Bowling Green. Morgan Beckham is heading over there as well with Ashley Chevalier. 1-1 count. Runner on first base for Ball State. No outs in the top of the 5th inning. Pitch low and away from Kraftsick.
Timmons looking to reach her 3rd All-MAC first team nomination, which I think she probably will. She will honestly probably win MAC Player of the Year if things stay the same.
She's only going to get 1 bag on a hit by pitch by Kraftsick. There's going to be 2 runners on. But oddly enough, that's not the worst thing to happen.
Yeah. I mean, seeing how much players like this stand out in an environment like the MAC really kind of puts into perspective these teams like Oklahoma where all 9 players in the lineup are, have this ability that Timmons has. Yeah. And, makes it even more impressive that Bowling Green almost came away with a victory against that team earlier in the year.
Gardner's talking to the umpire right now. We'll see if Kraftsick is going to exit the game. Probably is. But we'll see who's coming out for Bowling Green. Yeah, she is going to exit the game. Give the ball to Taylor Barrett. Gardner's going to give her taps. Not a bad outing for Mackenzie Kraftsick, all things considered. I mean, 3 innings of them were very well pitched. That second inning was just the one that spelled disaster. 3 runs on 3 hits.
Yeah, just a couple things that got away from her there. Second inning, she had the 2 home runs. Urban and double by Weaver in the bottom of the lineup really hurt. But you kind of expect to give up some hits here to Timmons in this top of the lineup. But honestly, all things considered, she managed top 5, which are the most dangerous parts of the Ball State lineup, pretty well.
Looks like Olivia Roth is going to come in the game for Bowling Green to pitch to Mulholland, Gunter, and Whitney with no outs, 2 runners on 2 straight walks for Mackenzie Kraftsick. Last 3 appearances for Olivia Roth, 2.2 innings pitched, 4 hits, 5 earned runs, 8 walks, and 2 strikeouts. Had a couple of starts in there as well. Didn't make it out of the first inning.
Yeah, 12.44 ERA on the year for Roth. It's going to be an interesting look for the sophomore going in against this tough lineup. It's going to be the middle for her. She's going to face Mulholland. Here we got a hit by pitch to first, ground out to short in the second. 2-1, nobody out. Tough situation to come in here. We'll see what she has for this Ball State lineup.
Is a little bit of a walk threat as well for Bowling Green. Only 4 strikeouts to 13 walks, .447 batting average against.
I mean, big break for her. Hasn't pitched since March 15th, 2 weeks from today.
Three, nothing. The score is Olivia Roth warms up. Peter Zach at second. Timmons at first. Going to need some ground balls to work their way out of this. Can't go up there hoping to strike out the middle of the Ball State lineup in Mulholland, Gunter, and Whitney.
Yeah, I mean, you mentioned the walk trouble she's had. I believe that's 11 in the past 4 outings. That was only 4 2/3 combined innings across those 4 outings. So she seems to put the ball, in the zone, let the defense do the work. Walks would probably be the worst thing you could do right now with 2 on and nobody out.
They'd have a good outing, the first outing of this season. 3.1 innings pitched, 2 earned runs for her on 5 hits. Roth deals the first pitch low for ball 1. McKenna Mulholland has had a hit by pitch in the first inning. She's 0 for 1 with a ground out to the shortstop in the second. Hasn't hit since then.
Richard Jr. a long way from home. It's Lake Howell High School in Oviedo, Florida. Comes up here to play for Ball State.
Mulholland, 19 RBIs on the season, one of the higher numbers of RBIs, of course, behind Timmons, who's got 34, and Whitney, who's got 27. 2-0, the count. Olivia Roth deals. Strike 1, about waist high.
Good pitch there. Caught the zone just a bit. That's all you need. Probably trying to keep it low here against Mulholland. Consistently try to force that ground ball, get the double play ball.
Hey, Barron a couple steps in at third base. Massaro a couple steps in at first. Eddie playing about even with the baseline.
Nice.
And shortstop, good strike on the inside. Painted that inside black, and 2-2 is the count now. Olivia Roth ahead of the 3-batter Mulholland.
We'll see her swinging away here. She was probably taking early on just to see what Roth would have if she would be able to throw strikes. Now with the 2-2 count.
2-2 pitch, just low. But a good idea again, trying to go back to that same spot, a full count. Now with no outs, you really don't want to lose this batter.
Yeah. I mean, you see the velocity Roth has. She has some good punch on that fastball. Just needs to be able to control it.
3-0 Ball State leads with 2 runners on, no outs at the top of the 5th inning. Full count delivery from Roth. Ground ball down the third base line. Barrett throws over to first for the double play, and it can't be held onto by Massaro. That would have been a good one to twist for Bowling Green, but they get the lead runner.
Yeah, just so close. Massaro just not quite able to put the clamps down on a good throw from Barrett. That would have been a huge double play if they were able to get it. Now it's
the throw. I mean, the throw beat the runner, too.
Yeah, it did.
Now down here is the left
Perfect recipe for a double play. Barron really didn't have to move down there at third to get the out. Just tap the base.
Still in order to put you out of the inning. Timmons at second. Mulholland at first. Pitch low and outside.
Gunter dangerous at bat. Still 850 OPS on the year. 19 RBIs, so she's not a stranger to capitalizing these clutch situations.
Yeah, tied with Mulholland for that number with a better batting average. 1-0, first pitch low and away from Olivia Roth. The second one is dealt and paints that black. She's come in throwing pretty well over, only a batter and a half now, but.
Yeah, I mean, Gardner, former pitching coach, he's got a lot of experience in that area. I'm sure Roth's been working hard over these past 2 weeks to make some changes.
Driven out in the air to right center field, falls short of the fence on the warning track. Timmons didn't go to jump on it. She's going to round third, head to home. Ava McKee's going to go for the tag. They got her at home. Timmons slides in, not happy with the call. Second and third, but the runner's out trying for home, and a double results in no score for Ball State.
Confusion on the base pass. Timmons did not get a good jump. She probably should have been going right off the rip. It didn't really seem like there was a chance Matthews was going to get to that one, and it kind of clogged them up in the base pass and then caused a couple of hesitations that got her beat there at home. It was a close play, though. I'm not quite sure. That was the correct call.
She tried to lean her arms around the tag. It looked like McKee got her.
Yeah, McKee got her for sure.
But it was whether or not the hand was on the plate.
Yeah.
The Ella Whitney that steps up with a runner on second and third, so you're not out of the inning yet, but that's a big out.
You saw the disadvantage of having that size on the base pass because it's kind of hard to get down on quickly for a play at the plate like that, so you're kind of put at a disadvantage.
Not the fastest either, and when you add into that a bad jump. So fresh count with 2 outs to Whitney. Whitney can really help herself if she gets a base knock here and put a 5-run lead for Ball State, but it's 3 right now. Olivia Roth deals the first pitch just below the bottom of the zone for ball 1. Wish we had instant replay to see that play at home because it looked quite close and it wouldn't have been a bad call either way, in my opinion.
Yeah, that would have been fun to see that with the challenge rule there. But they don't have. They do have the looks and they have the option to challenge here, but they chose to save it on that try.
1-0, swinging a drive, deep left center field, and it's gone. Ella Whitney homers for 3 runs with 2 outs.
Ella Whitney says, you guys don't want to support me. I guess I'll do it myself. 5th home run on the year for her. 6-0 now, Ball State. Just not ideal for Olivia Roth.
You look back to that dropped double play ball at first base to Hannah Massaro.
Yep. Yeah, that's where those plays come back to bite you. Mention how those errors can really, they build up and they build up over time, and they kind of just become, okay, it happened again. You don't really see the impact of it right away, but big difference for sure.
Caitlin Gibson, the first baseman, 3 home runs already today for Ball State. 2 outs, top of the 5th inning. 2 3-run innings as well for the Cardinals.
They're doing it in spurts. Roth just needs to get out of this inning. Now you can't allow them to get another run going here with 2 outs. You've seen the bottom of this lineup is tough here in spots.
Gibson, a strikeout and a reach on error today already. 2-0 the count from Olivia Roth to her.
241 hitter, 748 OPS on the year. Slug just over 400.
Still some work going on in the Falcon bullpen. Morgan Beckham comes back to the bench. Looks like Scarlett Anderson and maybe Sydney Marshall in there. Pitch just outside by Marshall.
Haven't seen Marshall in a long time. It'll be interesting if she gets a look here maybe with the lead as it is. If the Falcons are unable to come back into this one, we may see her late. Hasn't pitched since March 8th against Indiana.
Has not seen conference play yet. Although you wonder how many pitchers for Bowling Green are on the radar of Ball State, considering they have quite a large amount of arms compared to other teams, as well as Beckham and Kraftic dominating play lately for Bowling Green. Roth loses Gibson, puts her on first base. Mandy Loth comes up with a runner on first. 2 outs.
I mean, you got to feel for Roth. She comes in a tough situation against one of the best middle of the lineups in the MAC. Not exactly an ideal situation for any pitcher, and just kind of had things not really go her way.
And unfortunately does not benefit from that double play that could have allowed only 1 run.
Yeah.
First pitch strike outside on the black. Still throwing confident is Olivia Roth, although the 3-run home run by Ella Whitney makes it a 6-0 game for Ball State. 2-run home run and a solo home run in the 2nd inning. Now a 3-run home run in the 5th. All the runs off of 4-bag swings for the Cardinals. Just away, tried the same spot, but missed to Mandy Loth.
The ability for one player to really take over is always kind of there in softball with, the kind of more prevalence of two-way players, and Ella Whitney is the ideal situation for a two-way player, and her spot in the middle of the lineup and her spot as an ace for Ball State. She's really, 5 scoreless, probably 4 right now, and then the 3-run homer. She's kind of been doing it all.
Roth with a 2-1 count. Not to mention, we mentioned Bowling Green's got depth through the entire order, but now a home run in the from the second batter, a home run from the fifth batter, and a home run from the ninth batter for Ball State. Power throughout the order, scoring throughout the order. No batter has doubled up on runs scored. We've got 6 out of 9 that have scored runs so far. 2-2 count for Olivia Roth. She deals, swing and a miss. Gets out of the inning with a swinging strikeout from Mandy Loth. 3 runs for Ball State in the top of the 5th inning. Bowling Green will have to get some back in the bottom of the 5th to give themselves a chance. They lead off that inning with Massaro, Matthews, and Hutter. We'll talk about it in a minute. You're listening to BGSU Softball on WBGU 88.1 FM.
This is Falcon Media Sports Network Hockey Beat, Ben Korak. One Day, which is BGSU's biggest annual fundraising event, is nearly here. Falcon Media Sports Network and BG Falcon Media rely on donations from One Day to continue to be the gold standard for student media coverage. This past season, I had the honor to follow BGSU hockey to many of their road games, broadcasting them on WBGU 88.1 FM. I was only able to transmit BGSU hockey to you with funding from a very special donor. Our donor is the only reason that we have top coverage of BGSU hockey. Any donations, even just $5, will go a long way in supporting the funding BG Falcon Media and Falcon Media Sports Network, with 100% of the donations supporting student media at BGSU, including funding our equipment, travel, and other day-to-day expenses in our year-round coverage of BGSU athletics. The official giving period is from 6 a.m. on April 2nd to 6 p.m. on April 3rd. However, the early giving period is open. To donate, go to bgsu.edu/oneday and select the Falcon Media Fund. Isaac!
Bottom of the 5th inning in Missouri Field. The rain has held off, but Ball State has not. They lead 6-0 in the bottom of the 5th inning with a 3-run home run in the top of that 5th. Henry Costco here with myself, Ben Korak. Henry, it's getting down to crunch time for Bowling Green. They need a couple of runs here, and they need them pretty quick.
Yeah, I think there may be a conspiracy to be had here right as Ball State started to get that lead. The rain really started to dissipate around here again at Missouri Field, so maybe some controlling of the weather here for the Cardinals. Birds are pretty good at predicting the weather.
Yeah,
so
they are. Ball high to Hannah Massaro. Massaro with the walk in the 2nd inning. That's her only other plate appearance. No at-bats yet. Got our first hit in 4 games against Youngstown State earlier this week. 1 for 6. A run, an RBI. Walk and a strikeout as well.
It's been a good year for the freshmen out of Worcester, Ohio. Attended Tri-Lite High School. You've seen a lot of these freshmen. Massaro, Beckham just come in and immediately contributed. As Massaro hit a home run in her debut for this squad earlier in the year against Upstate. So she's been doing it all. And, I mean, good prospect overall. I think she'll build on and be a very solid player in a couple of years.
Coach Gardner likes her as well. Mentioned even during her slump that she's going to be a great player. It's just getting her hitting going. 3-0 pitch. Caught the inside corner for strike 1.
I'm interested to think about kind of the mindset behind this fake bunt every single pitch that Massaro, as if it's just kind of a rhythm thing for her.
I don't think it's fake bunt because the position of her hands are together.
Yeah.
I think it's just a rhythm thing for her, maybe a superstition that she enjoys. And a miss on a low fastball, so full count.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is you can't really get much power on it when you're pulling back and swinging. Obviously, she's not going for power in the first place, but it's just an interesting approach.
We're trying to keep the first and third baseman honest. I think it's considered to be so easy to lay a bunt down when you show the bat like that. Foul tip back. Longest at bat for a Falcon today. Full count.
Yeah, I mean, you mentioned it doesn't. She has 2 hands on the handle, so it's not really like she's going for a bunt. So I just think it's probably more of a rhythm thing for her.
Like she's essentially showing bunt right now. Look at where the first and third baseman are behind the bag. High of the waist to Massaro. She'll take first base for the 2nd time today. Good plate discipline from her. Bringing up Kendall Matthews, who struck out in the bottom of the 2nd inning.
Whitney struggled here with this first batter of the inning. Walked Steffisley off the 4th, and then E1 from McKee to lead off the 2nd. Hit by pitch by Hutter to lead off the game.
Yeah. Big to get a couple of runs here in the 5th and 6th innings. You don't want to have to do all your work in the bottom of the 7th. They did have to do that against Kent State, ended up coming back, but Kent State is a far different team than Ball State.
Yeah, I don't think those comebacks are very possible against Ella Whitney. ERA under 2, and it's going to be even better than that after these first few innings.
1-0 pitch is a strike. The back pick not in time for Massaro. Can't imagine Massaro would be going, considering Whitney throws hard. Timmons has got a cannon and is 7 for 10 on throwing runners out this season, which is an unbelievable ratio.
Yeah.
Batting 300 on stolen bases is 500 below the acceptable range. 1-1 pitch fouled off by Matthews.
Massaro not much of a base stealer, all things considered. 5 on the year, 5 for 5, but likes to take advantage of good opportunities.
Isn't it a lot of stolen base opportunities? Stolen base counts, stolen base positions. This certainly isn't one of them. Timmons flashes over to first base but doesn't throw after the ball low, 2-2. Like at this portion of the game, why would you risk getting a runner hosed? Every base runner is valuable. Every out is valuable.
Timmons is such a threat behind the plate that
at
the end of the day, it's not quite
unless
worth
you
it.
catch her absolutely sleeping. 2-2, lined out into left field. Base hit for Kendall Matthews. Bad route to the ball by Gunter. Massaro will round third and head home to the plate. She's going to be safe. First run of the game for Bowling Green on a one-run RBI double for Kendall Matthews.
Love that for Kendall. 2 hits in either of the games against Youngstown State earlier in the week and gets on the board with a hit here in this one. First hit for the Falcons all day. I was kind of holding back on it because they didn't really want to talk about no-hitters, but that's the first one on the day for them in the 5th. It's the first run on the day for them as well.
Still no outs. Whitney gives up her first run on her first hit of the game. Now talking it over with their infield. Clearly in shambles, Henry.
Yeah, I don't think they're super worried right now, but just kind of regain composure here for Whitney. They're probably going to want to throw Whitney this whole game, I'm assuming. And then maybe we'll see what happens here with her potentially in the second game. Nothing for her to worry about.
Hutter, who's up to the plate now, 0 for 1 with a strikeout looking. Also was hit by a pitch in the first batter of the game.
Good spot for Hutter, another hitter who had a great Youngstown State series, doubleheader. Can you call it a series if it's just a doubleheader? I don't quite think so.
It's more than one, so.
I guess so.
Whitney hits her again.
Wow.
I mean, I don't know what she's doing to get Whitney to throw at her, but
3 hit by pitches coming into this game, and almost needs one more and she'll have the
pretty much to double it up. Addie Martin steps up to the plate today. Not the runner or not the batter that you'd want at the plate, but across the entire season, this is the hitter that you'd want for Bowling Green.
Well, I mean, things change third time through the order a lot of the time. You see a lot of time in pitchers where they have trouble with that third time through the order. So Addie has seen Whitney twice. Maybe time to put those looks to use.
Head coach Helen Pena talking it over with Whitney. Kendall Matthews at second. Katie Hutter at first. Matthews with the RBI double. Katie Hutter with the hit by pitch.
Pena, a lot of success. Only her second year as the head coach of Ball State. They snuck into the tournament last year as the 6th seed and made it all the way to the championship. They beat Toledo and Ohio back-to-back games to make it. Eventually lost to Miami, of course, in their powerhouse squad that they had last year. But it's been great, all things considered, especially all the success they've had this year. They're up there as probably the third contender for the MAC championship with Ohio and Miami, so credit to her.
Shortstop Addie Martin up. Fresh count, no outs, 2 runners on. Takes the first pitch, strike. 7 straight strikes that Addie Martin has seen.
I mean, we see a lot of pitchers try to, really maybe pitch around Martin, who's the most dangerous hitter in this lineup, but Whitney's just attacking her. Hasn't thrown a ball yet.
0-1, low and away. Oh, Katie Hutter got picked off at first base on a back pick by Michaela Timmons. Looked close. It's going to give an out back to Ball State.
That's tough for the Falcons. That one's going to hit hard. Goes from 2 on, nobody out to 1 on and 1 out. Great play by Timmons to recognize Hutter. Getting a little bit too far off the bag right there.
Good tag by Gibson over there as well. 1-1 count. Addie Martin just saw her first ball. Now sees her 8th strike. She's at a 1-2 strikeout count again for Whitney. Whitney seems to have pitched better against Eddie Martin than she has against the bottom of the order for Bowling Green. Surprisingly enough, she's just attacked Eddie Martin, who fouls the 1-2 pitch off.
Some pitchers just have players' numbers. You see that a lot of times, and a player can, face a certain pitcher for the second time in the MAC championship or whenever it happens, and because they struggled against them recently, it kind of gets in their head a little bit. If you strike out on 3 pitches to back-to-back times, it's got to hurt your mindset a little bit.
1-2, 1 out, runner at second base. Ground ball to shortstop. Peterzak picks it up, flips it to first, and holds the runner at second. Martin still over. Runner still stranded at second base, bringing up Taylor Barrett.
I mean, you don't feel too bad about Hutter maybe getting thrown at it first, as that's the result of the at-backs. That would have probably been a double play ball either way. So you would have been looking at pretty much the same situation.
Barron, a contact hitter with a runner on second base. A single will score. Has a massive gap in left center field. Center fielder Urban shifted way over to the right. Actually, the Kendall Matthews hit, I believe, is the first ball to reach the outfield today, whether caught or fallen. First pitch to Barron, right over the middle for strike 1.
Barron having an absolute banger of a year, hitting .380 with an .896 OPS, almost 90 at-bats, 33 hits, 18 RBIs. It's fantastic after a tough season last year. She's really stepped it up.
0-1 changeup, swing and a miss. Just changed the timing of Taylor Barrett, who's now at an 0-2 count with 2 outs. Ella Whitney's taking care of business after giving up the walk and the double to start the bottom of the 5th inning. 1 run back for Bowling Green, 6-1, but 2 outs, runner on second. 0-2 pitch from Whitney, fouled off by Barrett. They're taking better hacks. They're just not getting him his play as much as you'd hope.
Yeah, they're kind of catching up to the velocity a little bit. You're seeing, and they're getting, more confident in these at bats. But Whitney is, extremely good throughout games for a reason. He's dealt with this many times before.
Off speed low. First ball of the count to go along with the 2 strikes. 4 2/3 innings pitched so far. 1 earned run, 5 strikeouts, 3 walks for Ella Whitney, putting together winning scoreboard so far. Taylor Barrett with a 1-2 count, just inside, backs up 2-2. Whitney kind of pitching around Barrett the last 3 pitches, through the 1 low that Barrett fouled off, and then 2 in a row. Not really close. 2-2 from Whitney, sliced out and down the right field line, foul.
Good job to just fend that one off. A little bit late on it, but just got bad on ball. That one could have snuck in there if it was just a little bit closer to the line.
Matthews at second base, not the slowest runner, would probably score on a single, especially one to right field as she hit that foul ball. Still 2-2 count for Taylor Barron in the right-handed batter's box. Whitney winds and delivers, and it's fouled off by Barrett again, going right back at the zone with the hard stuff.
Yeah, tough at bat. Whitney trying to pound the zone, get this final out. Barrett doing a good job fighting these pitches off, forcing Whitney to try something that she hasn't tried before.
Falcons down 5. 2 outs. Runner on second. Bottom of the 5th inning. 2-2 pitch from Ella Whitney. Off speed, high.
Good take by Barrett. That's a tough pitch to lay off of.
Very nice disciplined at bat that she's put together. Worked her way from an 0-2 count up to a full count. Hannah Hunt on deck. Peyton Steffes in the hole. Whitney with the payoff pitch. Swing and a miss. Change up high.
And so for the Falcons at the bottom of the 5th, 1 run on 1 hit.
1 hit, 1 run for Bowling Green. The bottom of the 5th inning, 6-1. Ball State leads heading into the top of the 6th. BGSU softball on WBGU 88.1 FM.
This Friday, March 28th, BGSU women's tennis takes on Miami at 1 p.m. Check out Falcon Media Sports Network's Wyatt Broadbar's recap on bgfalconmedia.com.
BGSU baseball will travel to Mount Pleasant to face off against the Central Michigan Chippewas on Saturday, March 29th at 1 p.m. Falcon Media Sports Network's Chaz McNeil will have a recap of the game on bgfalconmedia.com.
One run in the bottom of the fifth for Bowling Green. Turns it over to the top and gives the ball back to Olivia Roth for the Falcons. Closed out the bottom of the fifth inning after giving up a 3-run bomb to Ella Whitney and got a walk and a strikeout. And a strikeout ending the inning. Maddie Weaver and Haley Urban to close out the bottom of the order and then back up to the top in the top of the sixth inning.
Yeah, Roth hasn't had a lot of extended outings. It's been a lot of trouble in her first couple outs, so we'll see how she does now pitching in her second inning.
First pitch low for ball one. Her last two appearances before this didn't make it out of the first inning. Both our games started. Had 4 earned runs across 2 and recorded only 2 outs.
A lot of that is as Owens ripped in
the air to left field. Diving play by Delaney Davis to give it out to Olivia Roth. Very good play on a drive from Maddie Weaver.
Great play by Davis. We've seen she's been fantastic defensively out there in left.
Not losing anything defensively when you switch out Davis for Massaro out there in left field, but you're gaining a step offensively.
For sure.
So a good move for Gardner the last couple of games. You were saying before, I don't know if you remember.
The thing about Roth, I was just going to mention her. A lot of her, short outings are just because Gardner puts her out there as kind of an opener on a really short leash. So she doesn't get a lot of play there early in the games.
Flipped over to first base by Matthews. Gets the out. What a good play by Hannah Massaro, I should say, not Matthews, who ranged all the way in, probably about 10 feet from home plate. Made that play, flipped it over to Hannah Hunt, who covered first base.
Haley Urban, not slow by any means. That one can be tricky. Kind of your nerves kind of get the best of you a lot of that when it's a tough play there where you have a short window to make it. Good job keeping her composure.
Just an all-around good softball IQ play for Hunt to cover.
Yeah.
Massaro to crash. Olivia Roth to know to let the ball go. Ava McKee doing the same. 2 outs now, no runners on. Pitch way up and away to Peterzak. Peterzak a walk, but 0 for 2 otherwise. Only player in the top 5 not to score a run. A leadoff batter playing shortstop today. Her, Caitlin Gibson, and Mandy Loth, the only 3 batters for Ball State to not score.
Peterzak on a 6-game win streak, or 6-game hit streak.
Yeah.
Right now. Doesn't want to break that.
Probably will not get another at bat. So this is her chance to do it. 1-1 count with Olivia Roth.
So one thing to keep in mind, we were talking about it over the break, is the run rule. It's 8 over 5. So we're in the 6th right now. Ball State could get 3 here.
The Bowling Green would bat in the bottom of the inning as well.
Yeah, they would. Yeah, they would get a chance. It would be 9-1, and then they would end an inning early if they weren't able to.
If it ended the full inning with a score of 9-1, yeah. 2-1 count, back to even, 2 outs for Roth, looking to make it a 1-2-3 affair. Ground ball down the third base line, foul. Just barely out of the reach of Taylor Barrett. Would have had to make a very tough play, so a good job to let it go.
Be a big inning. If Roth can get out of this thing scoreless, just good look for her in general, just good confidence builder. I mean, got put in a tough situation last inning and got a fresh slate. This inning has made it count. Tough hitter here in Peterzak. If she can get the out, that would be big.
Not to mention coming out with the confidence after giving up a 3-run home run in the top of the 5th inning. Swing and a miss. Olivia Roth retires 3 in a row in the top of the 6th inning. Turns it over to the bats of the Falcons in the bottom of the 6th. 6-1 lead, Ball State over Bowling Green here in Missouri Field. You're listening to BGSU Softball on WBGU 88.1 FM.
Northwest Ohio's community radio station is looking for new volunteers just like you. Join our team of enthusiastic volunteers that help make WBGU 88.1 FM a success. You can get involved in many ways, including on air, behind the scenes, or at promotional events in the local community. WBGU is Northwest Ohio's community radio station. Visit our social media pages for more information. You could listen to WBGU 88.1 FM, or you could be part of the action. Volunteer with WBGU FM in a variety of roles, including on air, promotions, social media, music selection, and much more. Positions are always available to students and the local community. For more information, visit the WBGU Facebook page. Volunteer with Northwest Ohio's community radio station, WBGU 88.1 FM. The return to radio freedom.
6-1, Ball State leads at the bottom of the 6th inning. Running out of time, Bowling Green is to get some runs on the board. I mean, they're guaranteed now to bat in the 6th and the 7th. But they need 5 runs through those 2 innings to tie Ball State, as well as holding off the top of their order when it comes back up to the top of the 7th.
Yeah, good job avoiding the embarrassment of a mercy rule against MAC opponent. Those are never fun for a team.
Diving play by the right fielder Weaver to make the catch. Hannah Hunt with a good swing on an outside pitch to take it away. It's going to be out number 1 for Bowling Green, and they're down to 2 outs to get a couple of runs in.
Great play by Maddie Weaver, diving full force forwards to get that one. Tough play there in right field. She's a freshman transfer from Iowa, has that Big Ten experience.
I like Hannah Hunt attacking the early off-speed, though, from Ella Whitney.
Yeah, attacking early is
a
good approach a lot of the time, especially late in these games on this, hitters, especially after they get a lot of late counts early in the game.
Early off speed for strike 1 to Peyton.
Hi, I'm Taylor Green, and I'm a defender on the BGSU women's soccer team. And the 4 places that I want to visit are Greece, Italy, France, and Thailand, mainly just to see the different places and try different foods.
Hi, I'm Sydney Hernandez, and this is my Falcon 4 Essential Carries. For every day, I like to carry my chapstick, just to keep my lips moisturized. I like to have my phone to stay in contact with friends and family. If I'm at school, have to have my laptop for notes and all my assignments. And I also like to keep a little snack with me at all times, just in case I get hungry throughout the day. Go Falcons!
Are you ready to become part of the team? Northwest Ohio's community radio station is looking for new volunteers just like you. Join our team of enthusiastic volunteers that help make WBGU 88.1 FM a success. WBGU is Northwest Ohio's community radio station. Visit our social media pages for more recruitment information. WBGU, return to radio freedom.
Full count walk to Steffes. She gets on base with 1 out. Sorry for the technical difficulties. Long at bat for Peyton Steffes as well, and she gets on first base. Ava McKee steps up. Delaney Davis in the hole for Bowling Green, who trails 5. Needs to get on the board in the 6th inning and make their job a little bit easier in the bottom of the 7th if they can hold them off the board in the top.
I mean, 5 runs doable here for the Falcons. Just need some really good momentum. McKee, good player to do it. 2 hits against Youngstown State. And E1 reached base in her first at-bat, rather than do a double play in her second at-bat.
Off-speed up and away from McKee. It grounded into a double play in the last inning. A leadoff walk from Steffes. Not in that same situation now. Timmons back pick to Steffes, but she's way safe.
That's dangerous. That pop time on Timmons is impressive.
Yeah.
6 foot at the catcher's position, getting up that fast.
With a cannon, too.
Unbelievable.
She really wants to get somebody else over there. Already has Katie Hutter picked off at first base on a back pick. 1-1 pitch from Whitney. Or is it just away? Like a very good pitch.
It seems like I don't want to jump to conclusions here, but it seems like there's been a bit of a smaller strike zone today. We saw Krafschick not really getting a lot of calls there on the inside corner earlier in the game.
2-1, lifted out in the air to shallow left field. Playable for Gunter, and she'll put it away for the second out. So Delaney Davis will come up with a runner on first. Again, a great bunter, and you've almost taken that away with 2 outs, runner on first. You still could if you're doing it for a hit, but third baseman Loth is playing way in. First baseman's going to play about even, and Ella Whitney certainly fast enough to field her own position.
Delaney Davis.
Yeah, Davis. I mean, you like to get her up, with a lot of runners on because she can really, a bunt with the bases loaded or, whatever's going on can, the more chaos going on, the more dangerous a bunt is.
Shows bunt anyway and misses it into the glove of Timmons behind the plate.
9 hits in the last 5 games for Davis.
Very impressive the way she's been able to swing the bat. 9 for the last 12, in fact. 0-1, slap hit over to third base. Throw over to second, and Loth missed it. Steffes is going to try and advance to third. No, she's going to stay. I don't know what Loth was doing
Lazy
with
throw.
2 outs trying to throw to second base.
I think
just take the easy play to first.
She started to throw, and she realized about halfway, nope, this isn't the move to throw there, and then she just kind of let it go.
The shortstop, Peterzak, had to get over to the bag. She was a little bit slow. And again, the decision to go to second base over first with 2 outs.
Yeah, I'm not sure about that. It's better to just hold the ball in that situation. No harm done, though.
First baseman number 4, Hannah Massaro.
Massaro up, walk and a run scored. The only run scored for Bowling Green. Takes strike 1. Also had a walk in the second inning, and she just got stranded at first base after 2 straight strikeouts, looking for Kendall Matthews and Katie Hutter. 0-1 count, 2 out, 2 runners on. Lifted out in the air to center field. Easy play for Urban. She'll put away the bottom of the 6th inning. The Falcons threaten but don't score. We turn it over to the top of the 7th inning. We'll see if Olivia Roth gets the ball for Bowling Green. You're listening to BGSU Softball on WBGU 88.1 FM.
On February 11th, 2025, BGSU senior forward Marcus Johnson nailed an improbable corner three-pointer at the buzzer to give Bowling Green a lead over the Ohio Bobcats going into halftime. Falcon Media Sports Network's Tyler Kavlitz had the call on Falcon Radio.
Thomas looking for someone to inbound it to. Gets it to Johnson. Corner 3, fading away to baseline. Marcus Johnson nails it. Bowling Green goes into half with the 2-point advantage, 34-32 on the miracle shot by Johnson.
This has been a Falcon Media Sports Network featured call.
Six to 1. Ball State leads in the top of the 7th inning. They have the bats back in their hand, and Olivia Roth for Bowling Green back on the mound. 1-2-3 for her in the top of the 6th inning to retire all the Cardinals, but she's got Timmons, Mulholland, and Gunter, the 2, 3, and 4 hitter. This will be the real test for her.
Yeah, I mean, I was questioning the move to Roth at first, but I like just giving her the opportunity right now late in the game. Down 5, it's pretty low pressure. Good opportunity for her to just get some reps, take some of the lift off these other pitchers.
Delivers outside to Timmons. Got to be a little bit careful with her. Has already homered in this game. A solo shot to give him a 3-0 lead. That was her run scored as well. The next 4 batters for Ball State have all scored runs. Low and away from Timmons again. Unsurprisingly careful with the best hitter in the MAC, arguably.
I mean, 25 home runs last year in 2024. That was 3rd most in all of Division I. 2nd highest home run mark in program history in terms of totals.
Out it off down the first base line for the first strike, 2-1. At this point, what do you have to lose if you're Olivia Roth and the Bowling Green pitchers? You might as well attack.
Yeah.
It's a 5-run game, a tall order in the bottom of the 7th if you can come all the way back, especially how well Ella Whitney has pitched for Ball State.
Yeah, I mean, even
might
when,
as well attack.
Even when we're kind of in a, it's not really a blowout, but it's a 5-run lead here. Falcons are going to be down their last inning coming up after this half. There's still plenty going on in terms of Roth. All these players are fighting for playing time, right?
Mm-hmm.
This is a good opportunity for Roth. Rare one just in terms of her getting some extended innings here.
3-1 count, and a swingers one for Timmons. Roth up and away. She really didn't want to fool with Timmons. Ball's back around. Timmons rounds hard, but she's not going to go. Roth gets the ball back. Run around first with no outs.
I mentioned Timmons almost had, about 40-ish at-bats that aren't accounted for because of her walk and hit-by-pitch numbers, and she's had a homer, a walk, and a hit-by-pitch today and only 1 out overall in the day. So that's what she does. She's a pure on-base artist in pretty much all the capacities.
Last 4 games started for her. Only 2 for 5, 2 RBIs, 4 runs, 13 walks, 3 of them intentional. And all of them coming against Toledo. They intentionally walked her 3 times in 1 game. No strikeouts since March 9th for Michaela Timmons, who stands on first base right now and brings up
Timmons
McKenna
subbed
Mulholland.
out for a pinch runner.
The pinch run.
I believe that's number 6.
They do get the free pinch runner.
Veronica
Still gets the
Peterson.
catch.
Peterson, redshirt freshman, New Braunfels, Texas. Spent 7 years with Next Generation Softball there. Common pinch runner, 13 runs on the year for her, and only 3 at bats. So, comfortable position. Ball State wants to add on to this lead.
1-0 count for Olivia Roth to Mulholland. Mulholland no hits today. Next pitch is away, 2-0. 1 run, though, for the second baseman batting fourth. Had no runners left on base either, so not an opportunity to play cleanup. 2-0. Roth delivers away again. She's missing up and away and kind of overswinging that arm a little bit, I believe. Scarlett Anderson still getting work in the pen, but can't imagine they wouldn't just ride with Olivia Roth as long as they possibly can.
As long as they can, yeah. Just don't want to let it get too out of proportion.
3-0 pitch, low and inside, another walk. Peterson's going to advance to second, and Mulholland's going to take first.
This is disappointing, honestly. Roth, after the good last inning, they're going to come in. Ava McKee's going to come in and meet with her. But walks have been a pretty big problem for Roth all year. 5 walks, only 5 earned runs allowed. Only 1 total innings pitched, despite 3 appearances. So tough for her.
Kara Gunter 2 for 3 today with a run. That run scored in the 5th inning was the 5th run scored on the second run scored on the 3-run home run. The 5th run scored of the day for Ball State.
Number 5, Kara Gunter.
6-1. Still the lead for the Cardinals. Gunter in the left-handed side of the box with a runner on first and second, no outs. Roth delivers to her. Paint on the outside corner. She was missing all of those pitches away, actually, where Gunter is standing right now. So it's kind of forcing her, I believe, toward the inside of the plate, and maybe forcing her to throw some more strikes. Ground ball back up to the middle. Roth turns to second base, throws over to first now, just beats the runner by a step. Gunter is a step late. Roth was a little bit confused at where to throw the ball, but checked all 2 bags and threw over to first.
Yeah, made that a little bit of a nervous play. Got happy feet there, didn't know whether to take it to second or send it to first. Ultimately, with a little bit of time left, got it to first.
Lucky still to get the out, to be honest. It looked like a play where they were just going to load the bases.
Yeah.
Ella Whitney, a 3-run home run with a walk already today. 1 for 2 for her, a run and an RBI.
He's going to be on second and third, 1 out.
And a line drive into the right center field gap. This is going to get at least a run in. She is going to get a run, and Whitney's going to stop at second. It's going to be an RBI double for Ella Whitney. been good in the circle and been good at the plate.
2 hits on the day now. That's going to be 5 RBIs after a 3-run homer in the 5th.
8-1 now. Ball State leads as they extend by 2 in the top of the 7th inning with 1 out.
It's like Whitney's going to check out of this game. So at least on the offensive side.
Yeah, Allie Noble, catcher and a sophomore, is going to come in. Native of Tucson, Arizona.
Canyon Del Oro High School, Offensive Player of the Year for the Dorados there.
So Noble at second base to the 2-run clearing double by Whitney. Gibson now, Loth to follow, and Weaver after that. Gibson's got a fresh count. Olivia Roth still working to get out of the inning. Give Bowling Green a chance at 7 runs and the bottom of the 7th to tie the game up. Drive out to right center field. Peyton Steff is tracking, but she won't get there. This will score a run. Back around and the throw in to second base. It's going to be an RBI double for Caitlin Gibson.
Ball State putting the padding on here late, not letting up despite the big lead. It's going to be 8 runs now as they put up 9 on the board and 8 hits against this Falcon pitching staff. This is kind of what we expected from a very dangerous Ball State team that can really push you around on both sides of the ball.
Noble did score 3 runs now in 3 separate innings for Ball State if Bowling Green is able to hold them off the rest of the way. Coach Gardner talking with Olivia Roth right now. Looks like they're not going to pull her, but probably talk is sounding something like you need to get these 2 outs.
Yeah, I mean,
and you're going to get these 2 outs because I doubt Gardner wants to put another pitcher in at this aspect of the game.
You got to calm down a young pitcher in a situation like this. It's easy to get worked up and get yourself down. Just got to lift up your team, especially when you got another game to play after this one. I think it's a good time to just look around the MAC at some games that have been happening today. We got doubleheader between Central Michigan and Buffalo. CMU 9-0 victory against Buffalo, who struggled since their series against Bowling Green that opened up MAC play. Akron leading Toledo 3-0, and that one's in the top of the first. Miami, Ohio already beat Western Michigan 3-1 in that one, and then NIU 9-1, big win for them over Ohio.
Ball State putting together a pretty good performance for themselves to try and look for their 5th win in MAC play. Manny Loth at the plate, the runner on second and 1 out. Loth is 0 for 2. It's a walk and a strikeout. Check swing didn't go. They're going to check it, but she wasn't close for ball 1.
Roth just needs to throw strikes here. I mean, just needs to get out of this inning. This is a game that I think this team just kind of wants to be over with, considering you got another one to play. Just got to get out of this inning.
Off the ground ball to the shortstop. Addie Martin throws over to first to Massaro. Oh, and Massaro drops it. Going to be safe. Going to be an error for Addie Martin, or for first baseman Hannah Massaro.
It's going to be the second on her. Had one in the 3rd as well. Again, that first base position, tough defensively for Bowling Green.
I'm sure the conversation between Gardner and Roth in the infield kind of went something like, don't make errors and just get the easy out. Well, Martin seemingly got the easy out, and then the first baseman struggles for Bowling Green continue as Massaro drops the ball. She was very steady against Youngstown State. Very steady presence over there at first base.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough. Those are outs that you really want and you need against these really good teams like Ball State. You can't afford to just give up outs here and there. Because Ball State already capitalized on it earlier, and they're going to likely capitalize on it again here. We'll see what Weaver can do at the plate.
Yeah, Weaver down 0-1 as Olivia Roth delivers the first pitch strike. A double and a run scored in the second inning. 0 for her last 2 at-bats. Andy Louth had, coming into the day, had a 3-game hit streak. Not looking like she's going to continue it. Peterzak batting in the one hole also had a hit streak that's looking like it's going to be ended, but 2 more batters until they get back up to the top in Peterzak.
So they're not too worried about that. Big win for the team overall.
Pinch runner for Louth at first base as well. Shock. Sophie Shock, a sophomore. Only 5'1" out of Indiana, but quite a fast runner. 2-1 count. Shock is hitless since March 9th against Evansville. Runless since February 23rd against Albany. Throw down to second base. Cutting it off is Hannah Hunt. The throw over to third is not going to be in time to pick off the runner. It's just going to be a stolen base for Shock.
Pre-planned kind of throw trap there. McKee threw to Hunt, who was short of the bag, trying to catch runner there for Ball State sleeping. But
so now second and third, 1 out, 3-1 count. Olivia Roth pitching to Maddie Weaver. The 3-1 from Roth is low, loads the bases up. Gardner is going to walk out to the mound with Krafchick, so Krafchick will come back in, try and close out the game that she started. Yeah, we'll step aside real fast for legal ID and for one other little break while Mackenzie Krafchick warms up. 9-1, Ball State leads in the top of the 7th inning.
You are listening to WBGU 88.1 FM, home of the Falcon Media Sports Network.
This is Falcon Media Sports Network senior Sam Momeyer. One Day, which is BGSU's biggest annual fundraising event, is nearly here. Falcon Media Sports Network and BG Falcon Media rely on donations from One Day to continue to be the gold standard for student media coverage. This organization has been a pivotal and unforgettable part of my college career, and I'm determined to watch Falcon Media Sports Network continue to grow and thrive. Any donations, even just $5, will go a long way in supporting and funding BG Falcon Media and Falcon Media Sports Network, with 100% of the donations supporting student media at BGSU, including funding for our equipment, travel, and any other day-to-day expenses in our year-round coverage of BGSU athletics. The official giving period is from 6 a.m. on April 2nd to 6 p.m. on April 3rd. However, the early giving period is open. To donate, go to bgsu.edu/One Day and select the Falcon Media Fund. IZIG.
First pitch, off-speed strike to Haley Urban, the final hitter before the order is turned back over to the top for Ball State in the top of the 7th inning. Krafchick back in the game now for Bowling Green. Has not allowed 4 earned runs in a game since February 22nd. Ground ball to Addie Martin. Great pick. Throw over to first base and gets the second out with a run scored. Good play by Addie Martin is going to be overshined by the run scored and by the scoreboard.
10-1. Good to see them make that connection, finally work their ground ball. Fielded cleanly by both aspects of the play.
Yeah, as I was saying, February 22nd against Wichita State. That was the last game pitched for Mackenzie Krafchick that which she gave up over at or over 4 earned runs. Every game since, she's been at 3 or less. And she's been quite reliable for Bowling Green. Has 4 runs today on her 4 innings pitched.
Yeah, consistency is key with these pitchers in softball. You know, you'd rather have a solid 6 innings of maybe 3 earned ball rather than, you know, short stints of scoreless innings, because you want to get that volume going, especially since stamina isn't such a big factor.
Pinch hitting for Ball State, number 17, Katie
Krafchick 4 1/3 on 4 earned runs. Today, 4 hits, 3 walks, and a strikeout.
Katie Vandermark will hit for Maya Peterzak, the number 1 hitter. Actually, that really stinks for Peterzak, considering she had a hit streak to continue, and she was hitless today, now being pinch hit for. Vandermark probably going to be playing shortstop as well, if I had to guess. 2-0 the count on Krafchick, or for Krafchick.
I believe this is the first at-bat of the year for Vandermark.
The worst time to get her one, if you think about it. 10-1 lead in the top of the 7th inning.
Richard
Chance to
Jr. at Watson, Louisiana, attended Live Oak High School.
Yeah. Redshirt at McNeese State in 2022, transferred to Ball State after. 19 games played in 2023, only 2 in 2024. This is her first game played this season. 3-1 count to her. Trying to work her first on base. One more batter, and Ball State will have batted around for the first time, playing in the 7th inning. That one, I believe, gets a piece. Vandermark, and she'll take first base.
Cardinals are going to hit around with that one as Timmons' spot comes up again. She is actually going to hit again after getting pinch ran for in her last at bat.
Trying to pad the stats, get some more RBIs. She's already at 34 coming into the game.
Looks like Peter Zach coming back in to run after Vandermark hit.
Yeah, Peter Zach is in to run. Timmons with 3 runners on base, 2 outs. Mackenzie Kratzik will pitch to her for the 3rd time today. First 2 times Kratzik pitched to her was a home run and pop out to the shortstop. 1 for 2 for her, a walk, an RBI, and a run with a home run for Michaela Timmons today. Played pretty well catching. Picked Katie Hutter on a back off of first base. A rock for Ella Whitney, the pitcher for Ball State. She gets a ground ball down the third base line at foul. Just barely.
Barron almost touched that one. She was going to touch it after it already went out into foul play. Good job laying off of it anyway. 1-1. Trying to get Timmons out for the first time since her first at-bat. Popped out to short, but it's been all Timmons since then.
1-1. Line drive down the first base line, just fell. That would have got in probably 3 runs if it fell down inside of the white line. Timmons will step back into the box. Bowling Green will get another at-bat. They have 9 runs to make up, though, in the bottom of the 7th.
You never know. That's why they play the innings.
Yeah, I guess crazier things have happened. 1-2, 2 out. The delivery from Kratzik is outside. You know, Henry, I had a Little League baseball game I was watching of my brother's in a playoff game. He was down 13-1 going into the final inning. Ended up winning 15-14. One of the greatest games I've ever seen in my life, and it was from 10-year-olds.
Yeah, I mean, they don't have much aspect of how to hold a lead down there in 10
No,
years,
really. Yeah, they went through 3 pitchers, I believe, in that inning alone. It was a long one, but it was a fun one being on the positive end of it.
Yeah, I mean, I had a couple 9-run, 10-run comebacks in high school, so even at that level, it can happen whichever way you make it happen.
Full count, 2 outs, swinging a foul on a play by Timmons. This is kind of an ego thing now, I think, for both the pitcher and the hitter. I mean, it's stat padding for both. If you're Kratzik, you don't want any earned runs. And or to allow more runs, if you're Timmons, you want to get as many RBIs as you can. Fouled out of play. She's still taking G-hacks.
Yeah, I mean, Timmons got a MAC Player of the Year award to play for, so every at-bat matters when you
it makes sense.
Don't have a lot of at-bats here in the whole year.
2023 and 2024, first team All-MAC, 2024 MAC tournament team, NFCA All-Great Lakes team in high school. Full count, 2 outs, and they lose her. Put her on first base.
Tough.
I guess guarantees that only 1 run scored.
Timmons can't hit a grand slam if don't quite give her a pitch
and she's
to hit.
standing on first base. I think it was Sparky Anderson for the Tigers in the 80s. George Brett had a grand slam against him. He said he'll intentionally walk. George Brett, every situation with the bases loaded. In that same situation, if he has to, make sure that he doesn't get too many runs in. I feel like that was a similar situation. You know, it's a pride thing. I'm not comparing Michaela Timmons to George Brett.
I was going to say that might be a valid comparison, but if
it might
you don't want to do it.
Yeah, if you can compare the Major League Baseball to the
I don't think George Brett had a 1,700 OPS.
1-0 count, driven in the air, fair down the left field line. Davis has to retrieve. That gets 2 runs in. It gets 3 runs in. Runner all the way to third. It's going to be a bases-clearing triple for McKenna Mulholland. A 14-1 lead for Ball State, who has exploded in the 7th inning.
Like you mentioned, I believe it was that hit streak for Mulholland, right? She wasn't able to complete it, but finally gets that hit there on the day after hit by pitch, walk, but didn't quite
it was
get that.
First batter, Peterzak, that is not going to get her hit streak. Mulholland had her 6-game hit streak broken against Indiana State in their last game. He sends on third base now.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
That's brutal for Peterzak then. And she even got put back in the game after.
Yeah. Pretty much just said we don't care about your hit streak. Although I'm sure they really don't know about their hit streak. Pop fly to the third baseman. Taylor Barrett circles under it and puts away a long top of the 7th inning for Bowling Green and Ball State. The Cardinals put up 8 runs, lead 14-1. BG needs 13 in the bottom of the 7th to tie and 4 extras against Ball State, who searches for their 5th MAC win. You're listening to BGSU Softball, WBGU 88.1 FM.
Hey, it's Reese Petrikis, and you're listening to WBGU 88.1 FM, home of the Falcon Media Sports Network.
This is Falcon Media Sports Network football beat Sean Connolly. One Day, which is BGSU's biggest annual fundraising event, is nearly here. Falcon Media Sports Network and BG Falcon Media rely on donations from One Day to continue to be the gold standard for student media coverage. The opportunity to broadcast every home game along with a trip to Penn State was such a great opportunity, and next year we would like to have coverage at all away games, which will only be possible with donation from One Day. Any donations, just $5, will go a long way in supporting and funding BG Falcon Media and Falcon Media Sports Network, with 100% of the donations supporting student media at BGSU, including funding for our equipment, travel, and any other day-to-day expenses in our year-round coverage of BGSU athletics. The official giving period is from 6 a.m. on April 2nd to 6 p.m. on April 3rd. However, the early giving period is open. To donate, go to bgsu.edu/oneday and select the Falcon Media Fund. Isaac!
Welcome back to Missouri Field. 13-run lead for Ball State after an 8-run 7th inning. 6-1 lead heading into the 7th inning, and then 8 runs. What are you going to do?
It happens. I mean, Ball State, potent offense. Just got to move on to the next game, right?
Batted around in the top of the 7th inning for the first time in the game. On my sheet, every 1 through 9 hitter has scored a run today for Ball State. That's certainly a feat in itself. Kendall Matthews takes the first pitch inside. It's her, Katie Hutter, and Addie Martin. And I think mathematically, I guess if they all hit home runs, they won't have to hit again, but we'll see. Bowling Green mounts any sort of comeback. They're probably going to need to hit again. 2-0. On a pitch inside to Matthews.
Substitute in at third base for Ball State. That's McNally. Already mentioned that.
Yeah. 2-0. And a little cutter that drops inside for strike 1.
Matthews' good day. Probably best day out of all the Falcons. Lone RBI for the team on her double in the 5th.
2-1 pitch from Whitney. Swing and a miss. And Matthews drops down to 2-2. Whitney's just pitching for ego now. 6 innings, full pitch so far. 1 earned run, 6 strikeouts, 4 walks, 95 pitches coming into the inning. One of her better games pitched of the season. 2-2 pitch to Matthews, inside and low for a full count. Last time she pitched 7 innings and only 1 run was on March 14th against Akron. She had 8 hits given up. She's only got 1 today. Matthews takes the pitch just barely high. Whitney's not happy, but Matthews will take first base. And
good for Matthews. Falcons not going to go down without a fight, but this is going to be, I believe it will be 8 seven inning complete games now if Whitney finishes that one out. I'm sure the Falcons will be happy if she's not out there on the mound for the second game, but I mean, I wouldn't put it past Whitney by any shape or form.
Has not had a game of over 5 innings pitched, allowing 3 hits or less.
Wow.
So she's already at that mark if she can hold off the Falcons. 1-0. Kendall Matthews on first base. Katie Hutter at the plate and took a ball. Now we'll take a strike.
I mean, this will be a one-hitter for Whitney. It's a big mark for any pitcher.
That only hit was Kendall Matthews, an RBI double in the 5th inning. That made it a 6-1 game. It was much closer at that juncture. Hutter lifts it in the air to center field, right to Urban. The center fielder puts it away for out number 1. Brings Addie Martin, who's 0 for 3 to the plate.
Whitney, 7 innings with 2 earned, a couple separate times. Once against Lehigh in a 7-inning shutout at Victory, and then 7 innings, 2 hits, 1 earned run against Evansville. A little bit closer here in the year.
Whitney, off speed, just missed the zone away. 5 innings straight for Bowling Green. They did not have an out recorded in the outfield. The only ball that reached the outfield was Kendall Matthews' double. 6th inning, all 3 outs were recorded by outfielders, and now 4 in a row with that out by Katie Hutter. Martin takes one up and in. 2-0, and I'm sure if it's a good pitch, a green light count for her.
Martin, 8-game hit streak, trying to keep that one alive. Last attempt at it.
Last 8 games played, 15 for 28. 0 for 3 today. Fouls this one out of play on a good cut. Brings it to 2-1. Taylor Barrett waits on deck. Hannah Hunt in the hole. Ella Whitney winds and deals to Addie Martin. Rips it in the air to center field, and it'll fall in front of the center fielder. A heck of a stretch by the second baseman, Mulholland. Very close to being an out, but Addie Martin keeps our hit streak going to 9 games.
We got a little movement here. 1 out, 2 runners on. Am I sniffing a comeback?
Here's third baseman number 9, Taylor Barrett.
14-1. Ball State leads with 1 out, 2 runners on for Taylor Barrett. Barrett shows bunt, pulls it back, up and away for ball 1. Didn't make an attempt at the ball, so it will not be a strike, even though she took a couple steps toward the pitcher's mound. And now Ellen Pena will take a walk out to Ella Whitney. Cannot imagine what she would be discussing with Whitney here, considering she's got quite literally a 12-run buffer.
Yeah, I mean, just potentially just game planning for Barrett, I guess. But, yeah, I'm not sure. Maybe just trying to give her a break out there.
Yeah.
Could be potentially just preparing her for what's to come next game. Ball State will move to 5-2 in MAC play with this win if it does end up happening.
Possibly.
Happening. 20-8 overall on the year. Pretty impressive record. Well, they did have very light non-conference schedule.
Game's still not over. 2 outs to give for Ball State. Taylor Barrett up with Kendall Matthews on second. Addie Martin on first after she extended her hit streak to 9 games. Try for it in the second game of the doubleheader, which will have 30 minutes after the conclusion of this game. 2-0. Taylor Barrett's ahead in the count. Henry, at what point do you think they start putting work in the bullpen? Or do you let Whitney ride?
No, you got to let Whitney ride. There's no way.
Ride as long as it goes?
I mean,
Barrett takes a strike inside.
Sure, if she starts giving up 6-7 runs, but
yeah, that was my question. At what run number?
What run number? Yeah.
At what run number do you start getting work in the bullpen?
Maybe 7, I guess.
7.
Yeah. I don't know. It depends how much you want to ruin her ERA.
Yeah.
I'm sure she probably doesn't want that up.
2-1. Taylor Barrett lifts it high in the air to deep left field, playable for Gunter, and she flubs it on the warning track. Matthews will round third and head in to score. Addie Martin will be held up. Matthews will score. A run in for Bowling Green on that rip from Taylor Barrett. We'll see what they give it. It should probably be a double, in my opinion.
Yeah, well hit ball. That would have been a tough play out there in left field. That's Kara Gunter. I mean, had to turn around a couple times.
Yeah, it's going to be a double.
She didn't fight very well, but she had a long way to run.
It's going to be an RBI double for Taylor Barrett.
He's not going down without a fight. It's going to make Whitney's outing look a little worse on paper.
The journey of 13 miles starts with one step, I guess. Still one out, but runners on second and third. Hannah Hunt up at the plate leaves a fastball away. Whitney seems to have lost a little bit on her fastball as well. Not that it'll make too much of a difference long term.
She's toned it down a little bit for
Yeah.
sure. Probably the reason we're seeing some offensive action here.
1-0 count. For majority of the game, it seems like Bowling Green just couldn't catch up to a lot. Now here's a Hannah Hunt single through the shortstop and third base gap. Throw to home will be stopped by Timmons on the third base line. RBI single for Hannah Hunt. Addie Martin will score, and Barrett will advance to third base.
Taking that one, lifting it just over the head of the third baseman, Ava McAnally, there and left. Kind of sprinkled the gap, so.
It's a good rip. Yeah.
Hunt Barron, first hits of the game for them, so nice to just get on the board late in this one. We see some action in Ball State bullpen a little bit.
Barrett continues her reach safely streak to 10 games. 10 games with a walk or a hit. Last 5 games, 7 for 15. 7 runs, 6 RBIs. First pitch, strike, caught the black. 0-1 to Peyton Steffes. Steffes 0 for the game, but 2 walks on 1 hit by pitch. 2 runners left on base, strikeout. 0 for 1. Takes a fastball just high. Even in the 7th inning, and a 14-3 lead, the umpire's not really giving Whitney that much. Steffes, McKee, Davis due up for the Falcons, 1 out. First and third now, the runners. Hunt at first, Barrett at third. Steffes slowing away.
Tim's already walked twice. If we can get the hat trick, maybe in this at-bat. Jesse men's soccer playing across the street here.
2-1. Might be a longer game than the men's soccer game. The 7th inning alone.
I think it already has been.
10 runs in the 7th inning. Ground ball back up to Whitney. Whitney checks third, throws the first, and beats out Steffes, who made that alarmingly close. But now Bowling Green's down to their last out, trailing by 11 runs.
Barrett could have been sneaky down there, tried to get the home on the play, but good job by Whitney holding the runner back at third and then making the correct play to get Steffes out at first.
And McKee steps into the box. Single scores 2, runner on second and third. Will probably score 2, but they're down to their last out. Last out, lifts it in the air just behind the first base bag. It's going to drop in and score 2 for Bowling Green. Hunt comes around to score. Barrett scores as well before her. Ava McKee with the 2 RBI single.
Great placement on that pop fly right in between the first baseman and the right fielder there. Gibson and Weaver can quite get to it. They could Mulholland at second.
Don't know if she meant to put the ball there, but she put the ball there. It doesn't matter.
Better be lucky than good.
Yeah. You're going to need some luck. Still trailing by 9, although you trail by 13 at the start of the inning. Ratio of outs to runs not yet enough, though. You're at 2 outs. The runner on first base. Delaney Davis is up.
If they had this in the 6th inning, they'll be only down by 1 right now. Puts it in perspective.
Yeah. Pinch runner, I think Reagan Stephanie is going to pinch run for the Falcons. Get the much faster runner on first base.
Stephanie freshman out of LaPorte, Indiana. Seen her a lot, pretty much.
Yeah, she's kind of the 1A
exclusively
pinch runner.
in the pinch runner, yeah.
Not too many pinch runners for Gardner the last couple of games, but Ball State has had 3 already today and a couple of pinch hitters, understandably given their lead.
Stephanie 4 runs scored on 10 appearances on the season, 0 at-bats.
Davis with 2 outs and a runner on first. Slaps it foul.
I got to send Stephanie here. Why not? Got to get her the stolen
Yeah.
base. If you put her in the game, might as well put her to use.
I will say you don't want the final out of the game to be caught stealing.
I mean,
to Michaela Timmons, who is 7 for 10 this season.
I guess.
That would be my argument.
Yeah, don't feed the.
I wouldn't
don't feed Timmons the free.
Yeah, I know. The last out of the game shouldn't be on the base bats, in my opinion. But I wouldn't hate it, and there's a pretty good chance they just let the runner go. It doesn't matter.
Right.
You know, the next 8 runners don't matter.
I don't think Timmons would just let
probably
the stolen
not
base get put on her.
Too much pride to let that go.
Yeah.
1-1, 2 outs. Andy Davis bats in the left-handed box, lets it go, doesn't make an attempt at the ball.
Delaney, tough at-bats, just regardless of the outcome is. She had a full count on her ground out to first, or to the pitcher, in the fourth, had a full count on that one, and reached on a single in her last at-bat, so tough hitter regardless.
9 for the last 12 coming into today. Game-winning double against Kent State. Swing and a miss. Pitch low and away. Whitney's feeding that low and away portion of the plate with the slap hitting Delaney Davis. Falcons down to the last out and down to their last strike, too. With a 2-2 count, 2 outs. Runner on first base. 14-5 Ball State lead. Slap hit through the gap. Stopped by the shortstop. Good play. Throw to first. And they got her. Ball State holds on to their 13-run lead, wins the game by 9 runs, 14-5 after 7 full innings of play against Bowling Green. Henry probably could have been a much tighter game than it was. Made it a little bit interesting at the end, but 12-run 7th inning was the deciding factor in the game, I'd say.
Yeah, the 7th inning was tough. I mean, Roth got just kind of thrown in there, just kind of left her out. You know, didn't really put too much thought into it after Ball State already put up 6 going into the inning, and just kind of got away from him in the end. Wasn't much of a game to begin with going into the 7th, but I mean, tough loss, you know, morally, but you still got to play a second game, and what you remember is the result of the second game at the end of the day, not the first.
Yeah. Game number 2, the doubleheader, starting in about 30 minutes after probably about right now. We'll go through the lineups real fast. Ella Whitney, who was probably the best player in the game. I don't think that's a argument to be had otherwise. 7 innings pitched, 5 earned runs given up. A lot of those, 4 of them in the 7th inning. She had 1 earned run coming into the 7th. She gave up 4 more. 6 strikeouts, 5 walks. She pitched a lot better than that line card shows. I mean, it should be 7 innings, pitch 1 earned run if it was any closer.
Sure.
But very good outing for her at the plate as well. She was 2 for 3 with 5 RBIs, a run, a walk, and a home run. So she played fantastic all around, both sides of the ball. The Falcon pitchers, Mackenzie Kravczyk and Olivia Roth. Kravczyk started, 4 innings pitched, 4 earned runs on 6 total runs given up, 5 hits. 1 strikeout to 4 walks. An area that she's been pretty good at the last couple of games. Not great for her. Olivia Roth came in between Kravczyk's 2 appearances, 2.1 innings pitched, 5 earned runs, 8 runs total given up, 2 strikeouts, 4 walks. Then Kravczyk came back in for 2/3 of an inning pitched, gave up a couple of runs, and 14-5 lead for Ball State. Henry, impact players on the offensive side of the ball for either side.
I mean, Gunter and Whitney, I mean, we talked about Whitney already on the pitching side, but 5 RBIs, had a big 3-run homer there in the 5th that put Ball State up 5, and I mean, 2 hits on the day, 2 hits for Gunter, hit each for Timmons, Mulholland, Gibson, Weaver, Urban. So it was really an all-around effort, but I would say Whitney probably stood out the most.
Yeah, 1 hitter for Bowling Green going into the 7th inning. They got 4 hits in that 7th inning. Addie Martin, Taylor Barrett, Hannah Hunt, Ava McKee, and Kendall Matthews, the hits for Bowling Green. Kendall Matthews, the big one that made it a 6-1 game. I guess that was the closest the Falcons ever were with being on the board. That was an RBI single. She had a walk and a strikeout as well. And then Ava McKee, 2 RBI hit in that 7th inning to make the game 14-5. But Ball State comes away with the win, and they look to take 2 wins and advance to 6-2 in the MAC in the second game of Bowling Green versus Ball State doubleheader on this Saturday. We'll talk to you in about 30 minutes, and you can listen to some music on WBGU 88.1 FM. In the meantime, Chaz McNeil, our board operator as well. Thank you, Chaz, for sticking through. Thank you, Chaz, for sticking through one. I know we just had a little bit of problem right there, but he's going to play some music for you. We'll be back in about 30 minutes. Talk to you then. BGSU softball on WBGU 88.1 FM.